From Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, welcome to ESPN's presentation of Patriot League football as the 4-3 and 1-1 in the Patriot League Georgetown Hoyas meet the 4-4 Bucknell Bison, 1-1 in the Patriot League. I'm Doug Birdsong, and as always, very pleased to be joined by former Penn State assistant coach Charlie Fisher for this matchup between two teams that Coach Fisher, when they meet on the gridiron, it usually ends up a fourth quarter affair.
Yeah, it usually gets a little weird, Doug, to be honest with you. So it kind of could go sideways today. But today we've got two teams kind of going in opposite directions. You got Georgetown with a 2-game winning streak. You got Bucknell with a 2-game losing streak, trying to get off the snide, so to speak. To me, this game, we talked about this, Doug, comes down to, can Bucknell stop the run, which they haven't done very well really all year long, but certainly recently. Some of that due to injuries and a lot of changes. And quite honestly, this Georgetown team can rush the football. They've not just got one. They got a dual-threat quarterback. They got some cats that can run the ball.
Indeed, and of course, that dual-threat quarterback, Des Thomas, that you're talking about, as you take a look at the Georgetown bench, going to be wearing all white here today on what is going to be a brilliant day for late October in central Pennsylvania. The weather couldn't be any better, could it?
No, don't they call this sun splashed?
I think you're correct.
I believe that's it. There's no wind, and what a rendition for the national anthem on the saxophone. I tell you, if that doesn't get you going, I don't know what does.
Yes, we definitely had that as we are getting ready to get this game underway. Bucknell will be in the home blue jerseys and the white pants, and the Bison will be kicking this deep to the Georgetown Hoyas. Now, the Hoyas had a great return man in Dunneman, but Dunneman hadn't played in a couple of games, so it appears that Georgetown is going to drift deep here to receive this kick, Hassan Mahassian, and we'll see how things go here for this Georgetown offense, which will get the first opportunity.
Yeah, Mahassian's been a good player on offense for him. You mentioned Dunneman, Nick Dunneman, who had a big year last year, 50-plus catches. He's out right now. He's been nicked up a good bit, just 7 catches this year. So, but this Georgetown offense has a lot of different pieces to the puzzle. Outstanding offensive coordinator in Rob Spence. They've got a lot of good things going on offense, Georgetown.
So it will be Juan Garanton booting this right to left, and this game is underway in Lewisburg. And Mahassan gets it inside the 5. He'll come to the middle of the field with a big seam up to the 20 to the 25-yard line before being helped down to this field turf surface by Viaggiarelli, and also helping out for the Bison on defense that time is going to be Nick Hoyme. So it will be 1st and 10 for this Georgetown offense under the direction of Des Thomas II, the senior out of Houston, Texas. He came in for Lauder, and boy, I tell you what, he has gotten better each and every game.
Yeah, we'll call him DT2. He's awfully special. He's got he can run the football. He's improving every week. This coaching staff loves this young man. They just wish they had him longer, Doug.
Indeed, Coach Scarlatta, the head coach of this Georgetown team. Wideouts to either side, and they'll have a man in motion. They'll go with the jet sweep, and that's going to be a tackle behind the line, as getting that ball coming across was the man who just had the kickoff time, Mahassan, and he is dragged down for a loss inside the 25, and it'll be Sarah, who has been playing with a heavy heart, having lost his dad just a week ago with the tackle for loss.
Yeah, great play by Captain Jack, as I call him right there. Jet sweep, they're reading this all the way. He elects to hand it off, and Sarah's right there. Johnny on the spot for the TFL.
There's Jimmy Kibble. He is the best receiver for this Georgetown team with 34 receptions, over 600 yards. This is Savion Hart, and he is going to take it from the near side to the far side as you see it, and great defense by Will Kinnear. Will Kinnear came on late last year, and the transfer from Jacksonville State makes a stop there.
Yeah, Kinnear out of Huntsville, Alabama, just a junior. He's been really good, and he's playing more, and he's getting better every week. Great stop there. Seeing some energy right now, Doug, from this Bucknell defense. They know what needs to be done today.
Georgetown on a 3rd down, 48 of 108, 45% of the time the Hoyas have been able to convert. This is going to be Thomas looking to pass, throws a dart, and it's going to be caught short of the 1st down sticks, it appears, over on that far side of the field, as it looked like it was B-Stick. Brock is the 2nd leading receiver in terms of what Thomas likes to go for, but he's going to be stopped about 2 yards short. It'll be 4th and 2.
Yeah, just didn't quite get the sticks right there. As a former wideout coach, you always tell your guys, you got to get 1 yard past the sticks because you come back to the football. Now he's 2 yards short, so he's got to get beyond that. B-Stick didn't do it there. and now Georgetown's in a punt situation.
This will be Josh Lepp, the senior, 29 punts coming in, averaging almost 40 yards per punt. He'll get a line drive kick that is returnable by Bucknell's TJ Cadden. He's going to circle his way to the near side, to the 35, to the 40, to midfield. He'll break a tackle at the Georgetown 40, has a seam at the 35, and is going to be dragged down from behind at the 33-yard line on great coverage downfield that time for the Hoyas. I think on the tackle could have been Logan, but whatever the case is, that's the best return this year for Cadden, who had many returns for touchdowns last year.
This is just TJ Cadden being TJ Cadden right here. Weave right, weave left, find a couple blocks. Now cut back late on the sideline and zip it up the sideline there for a big gainer right there. Really good job. This is just what TJ Cadden does. We talked about this, Doug. He's a football player. I don't care how big he is, how fast he is. He just gets it done.
This is going to be Chris Dietrich starting his third straight game for Ralph Rucker, the fourth, the preseason offensive player of the year for the Bucknell Bison in the Patriot League. It'll be a handoff to last year's rookie of the year, and getting tripped up trying to break it outside is Thomas. Good defensive stop made by the Hoyas is by Martin, so it'll be a pickup of 3, 2nd and 7.
So Coach Dave Cicchini, Drew Fulmer, the OC, they just want to see consistent, continual growth out of this young quarterback.
That is Chris Dietrich. You just saw his stats a moment ago. Looks like Georgetown may think about blitzing here. Play clock hasn't even started. It's down to 0, and I don't know if the play clock was reset or not. Eric Lewis is our official, and they are asking for the play clock to be reset. The Georgetown coaches were saying, wait, it's down to 0, but I don't think it got reset.
Yeah, it depends what side of that clock you're on, Doug. If you're on the defensive side, you want it to run out, but certainly not on the offensive side, and that was the correct call by the officials.
Got 2 wideouts at the top of your screen, Nate Anderson and also Josh Gary at the bottom of your screen for a 2nd and 7 after the great punt return by Cadden. It'll be a handoff again. Here's Thomas breaking tackles. He's going to be close to first down yardage, but stopped a little short, I think, at the 10-yard line as Golden helped to bring him down. So a big 3rd down for the Bison here, Charlie. Bucknell, 42% of the time the Bison have been able to get it, and this could be a chance for Thomas, who has over 400 yards rushing, but it looks like Logan Bush, the short yardage specialist, is in.
Number 0, Logan Bush, usually checks in these situations. Big 3rd down here early. Got to believe it's 2 downs to get it, Doug.
And it's 3rd and a short 2 right now. Sam Milligan, he's going to get the center snap and going to come up under a brand new play for the Bison. And the Mr. Sudden Sam, as you like to call him, gets the first down at the 8. That's an interesting play, almost a single wing style.
It's Tricky Sam now. Instead of Sudden Sam, we'll call him Tricky Sam. Really nice play design. You see that in the NFL now. That's become kind of the first cousin of the tush push, just a different way to get to it. Nice conversion for the Bison.
If the Bison have to pass here, you got to look out for number 2. Quincy Briggs has 4 interceptions, 5th in the FCS. Handoff though to Bush. Bush is trying to break it. Couldn't quite do so, so he'll get tripped up at the 6-yard line that time. Defensive stop for the Hoyas, at least right around the ball that time, was Bose. And so it'll be a 2nd and goal for Bucknell at the 6.
And we've seen more and more of Logan Bush, and you know this game means something to him, being a native of Washington, D.C., Georgetown right in his backyard. You can bet he'd like to get one in the end zone right now, but I do see Tariq checking back in, Tariq Thomas.
Thomas can, of course, catch passes out of the backfield. He's to the left of Dietrich, making his 3rd start for Bucknell at quarterback. Now, play call, well, it's going to be a timeout as the play clock was down under 10. And it looks like the offensive coordinator for this Bison team, Drew Fulmer, asking for a timeout there. What do you think that the coaches saw that Georgetown D was doing?
Well, I certainly looked like Chris Dietrich looked a little bit confused. Maybe the play call matched up a little bit more for blitz man as opposed to what it looked like Georgetown was going to play zone there. So he didn't see something that he liked right there. And early in the game, boy, you don't want to make a big mistake and just do something that results in a sack or a negative play. Georgetown wasn't in a blitzing posture right there, but they didn't like what they saw, certainly from up top where Drew Fulmer is. So you can bet he got the communication down there, bang a timeout. Good decision.
Some of the crowd in attendance here today. You know, Bucknell was trailing 21-7 2 games ago at Lafayette and ended up taking a sack and then got a big 15-yard penalty. Right. Don't want to get that situation here as Bucknell going against a Georgetown team that on the year is giving up 26 points a game. Remember, this drive started at the Georgetown 18 after the great punt return by TJ Cadden. So Bucknell will have Milligan at the top of your screen. There's Boom Skitcherini, the tight end, going to the bottom of the or left side of the offensive alignment. Dietrich looks to pass, throws a dart for Milligan, and it's going to be incomplete as he was battling over there with the aforementioned Quincy Briggs, and he just couldn't disengage that time.
Yeah, and it looked like a little bit of miscommunication only because it looked like Chris Dietrich wanted to throw a back shoulder ball. Milligan had him beat by a step. So when you have that clearance, you want to throw it high in the corner of the end zone, let your big guy go get it. Dietrich was a little bit off on what they wanted to do there.
This will be 3rd down and goal for Bucknell at the Georgetown 6. Trying to get a great punt return by T.J. Cadden and produce a touchdown out of it. Could be a blitz off the corner. It looks that way at the bottom of your screen. Play clock just going under 10. Dietrich looks to pass, has time. Now he's going to be flushed out of the pocket. He's going to be sacked. Brought down at the 16-yard line by a Georgetown team that historically is known for its sacks. But this time, the sack is going to be brought down here by Frangione, the big senior 281-pounder out of Ontario, and it's going to be a big sack. Georgetown doesn't have as many sacks this year as normally is the case.
Yeah, and that's as much a coverage sack as it is a up-front sack, but they're synced up good. Frangione just bull rushes, he stays active, and he finally gets to Dietrich to set up this field goal.
It's going to be a 33-yard kick for Matt Shearer, who's only missed one this year, the senior. Kick winding to the goalpost to our right, and it is no good. Wide right. So Bucknell, after the great punt return by T.J. Cadden, is thwarted here. And we have a media timeout. So Georgetown will get the ball back for a second opportunity of the first quarter in a scoreless game with Bucknell. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN. Once again, after the missed field goal from 33 yards out by Matt Shearer. Shearer had come into today's game making 9 of 10, including a 50-yarder earlier. Georgetown with its second offensive possession. Hart will get the carry, banging it up the middle, now breaking it outside, using some shiftiness to catch the corner to the 30. He'll have a first down and more to the 40. He gets pushed out of bounds by Geeter at midfield, but boy, that's something that has haunted the Bison. Outside containment, Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to play team defense, and part of that starts on the edge. You got to contain it, but this was as good a run by Savion Hart as it was poor defense. I mean, he just absolutely just juked out 2 guys, darted down the sideline. Listen, Savion Hart, he's a good one now. He is a talented back.
Sophomore out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Talk with Rob Scarlatta, the veteran head coach of the Georgetown Hoyas, former Hoyas player. He lifts with the offensive lineman. He's so strong. And here's the guy who can really make things happen with his feet, Des Thomas, and he'll easily pick up a first down, scampering out of bounds at the 37. So after Bucknell on its first defensive foray, able to slow down and force a punt after 3, Georgetown on the move now on the second drive.
Yeah, Georgetown's starting to get in a little bit of rhythm. That's all it takes. And that first play kind of helps get you in that. The run by Savion Hart, he runs with a lot of anger, Doug. Let's just put it that way. But he's so shifty to go with that ball and muscle. That's what makes him so effective.
2 wideouts to the top of your screen. Let's see if Thomas tries to go for a deep ball. No, a pitch out wide. This is hard. Big push by the offensive line. He's going to gain 8 yards before drawing contact by Biagirelli down inside the 30 at the 29. And boy, that left side of that offensive line opened up a big gaping hole.
Yeah, Swan and Sawicki there, I believe, on the left side right there, just mauled the edge. And that's been part of that leverage defense that just hasn't been there for Bucknell recently.
So 2nd down and 2 for the Hoyas after Bucknell missed a field goal after a terrific punt return by Cadden. Mahassan in motion. He's going to join the men in the backfield. Hand off to Hart, left side, and Hart's going to squeeze through for a first down to the Bucknell 26 for being tripped up out there. Looked like LaGrasso and Biagirelli on the stop for the Bison.
Doug, this drive is vintage Rob Spence. A lot of motion, some shifts, seeing a little bit of everything, involving everything. He likes to run the quarterback. Rob's been doing it a long time. He's been good at it for a long time.
Charlie, a former head coach and a former coordinator, had to go against Rob Spence many a time. Mahassan in motion there, and it will be Thomas looking that way. He has some pressure now. It breaks down. He's going to take off and run, has a lot of room. Throws it out in the end zone, and it's going to be bobbled and almost dragged in. Down in there was Kibble, that great receiver. Remember Joshua Tomas, the super receiver for the Hoyas for a number of years. Kibble a little bit better, but Thomas, the senior, who is just getting a lot of playing time this year, may have been past the line of scrimmage. Yes, Eric Lewis, our referee. So I kind of wondered if Thomas might have been past the line of scrimmage. Here's the replay, Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. And if Des Thomas had a little bit more experience, he runs that for 15 more yards instead of, he saw a little bit of a space there for completion. That's just pick him up, lay him down, and gallop for another 15, and let's move on. That's a mistake there by the inexperienced senior quarterback.
Yes, but he is inexperienced. The senior out of Houston, Texas, who came in completing 51% of his passes for 716 yards. Mahassan in motion to the top. It'll be a handoff. Hart breaks it inside, and that'll actually be the backup running back getting the carry that time, and he will be dropped for no gain, as that is going to be Inyuribi, and he is going to be stopped for a loss back at the 31.
I believe that's Biagirelli, just fills it up. Watch this form tackle, Doug. Boom! And down he goes. That is textbook 101 form tackle, Doug.
That's going to make it 3rd and 14 for this Hoyas team. Again, had converted about 45% of third downs, but this is going to be the second opportunity for the Hoyas today.
Doug, right away, we'll see if there's more pressure from this Bucknell defense. They've elected not to do that a lot.
Here comes a pass by Thomas. He's going to look. He's going to throw. Man is wide open. He'll catch it and break a tackle. That's Kibble. He'll get it inside the Bison 10, and he'll be dropped at the 9-yard line. As that time, Hoying will bring him down, but Kibble was open for a first down, but then he made even more moves to get it inside the 10.
And Drew Cormier just didn't make the play right there. He's there to get him down short of the first down. Doesn't make the tackle. This is Jimmy Kibble being Jimmy Kibble. He's really good. There's a reason why he's got all the stats in Georgetown history, because he can make you miss after he catches it. Well done. And great timing there by Georgetown on the out route.
Senior from Leesburg, Virginia, 4th in Georgetown history with over 2,000 yards. Hand off, and this is hard. He'll break tackles into Georgetown Hoyas, go 80 yards and do it in 8 plays and take a 6-0 lead.
So, Doug, right now we're seeing some of the issues that have plagued Bucknell in the last few weeks. Leverage defense, poor tackling, and then a reset of the line of scrimmage by Georgetown's offensive line in this play. So they just missing way too many tackles and letting the ball get loose outside too much.
That is the 7th touchdown this year for Hart, and here to attempt the point after is going to be Thomas Anderson. He is 17 of 20 this year. He's a left-footed kicker, which is a little unusual. Snap a little high, but I do believe Anderson was able to get it through the upright. So the Georgetown Hoyas, after stopping Bucknell and forcing a missed field goal, go down the field and take a 7-0 lead on the Bison. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN.
Kids grow up fast, but with the money you earn from your PenFed checking and savings accounts, you can be there to support them through every stage of life.
I got it.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
The Patriot League on ESPN is on Instagram. Championship moments, amazing highlights, behind-the-scenes coverage, and features on the best and brightest student athletes in the NCAA. Follow us at Patriot League today.
The Patriot League is dedicated to the development of the student athlete through excellence in athletic competition, challenging academics, personal growth, and contributions within their communities. The Patriot League places among the NCAA leaders in graduation rates annually, with graduates moving on to serve in all facets of society by using their talents and voices for positive change. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League.
At PenFed Credit Union, we help our members make the most of their personal finances so they can make the most of their dreams.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
Georgetown Hoyas offense really kind of paved the way that time. A lot of running by Hart. Hart ended up with 54 yards and this touchdown.
Okay, just an inside zone right there, Doug, and they just block back with the tight end. Great blocking on the right side. Hart with a stroll, easy stroll. It's like walking in the park.
And, of course, the right guard is Kason Mahuka Ka'awa and also Messiah Talanoa. You know, we have a lot of Polynesian guys that are out there for this Georgetown team. That is one area that they do a great job. They do a great job recruiting a lot of Polynesians.
And that's that Georgetown brand, Doug. It goes all over the country, and really anywhere you want to go recruiting. That big G, everybody knows it.
Here comes the kickoff by the Hoyas, and this will be Bucknell returning the kick. That's TJ Cadden. This time he gets blasted inside the 20, knocked backwards at about the 17-yard line. We'll have to see who gets credited with that. There were a lot of guys around there, but we're going to give credit, even if that wasn't the guy who got the tackle. We're going to give him credit anyway. How about Jordan Johnson? It was a hard hit nonetheless.
Big time hit right here. Cadden saw that lane closed in a hurry. Kaplat right there by Georgetown. It's great coverage by the Hoyas.
So Bucknell will be trailing this 7-0 and now have to start this drive at the 17-yard line for the inexperienced Chris Dietrich, the transfer from Temple. His dad played just about a half hour, 40 minutes to the east of here at Bloomsburg University. Freshman speedster Lampkin's in at the right slot. Dietrich pulls the ball back and will throw it, and it will be almost intercepted. Then off the deflection, Josh Gary, the senior from Maryland, able to traverse his way for a huge pickup, first down yardage to the 28.
Doug, that's what you called never giving up on a play, because that went from a pick six to a first down for Bucknell, because let me tell you, that ball was almost sniped by Georgetown outside.
That was Quincy Briggs, who had 4 picks coming into this game, but instead it's a 1st and 10, the first down of the game for Bucknell, trailing at 7-0 in the first quarter. Now Dietrich will have Thomas off to his left. 2 wideouts to the bottom of your screen as well. It'll be a handoff to Thomas. Thomas can't quite get outside. Bucknell has had so many injuries to the offensive line. This Georgetown offensive line pretty much was intact from the beginning of the year to now. But for Bucknell, a lot of guys shifting in and out. And it looks like Dara Adiemi getting the start at left tackle here. He was a former defensive lineman.
Yeah, absolutely. He certainly has all the chops to be a really good offensive lineman. He's just inexperienced, Doug. As you mentioned, lack of continuity will kill your run game.
2nd and 7 after a pickup of 3. Lampkin's going to get the jet sweep pick, and you'll get a nice block of the quarter. He's going to run up the field to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, and he'll get blasted out of bounds inside the 40 at the 35-yard line. Wow. Lampkin showed his speed on a fake punt against Cornell last week. This time he took it on the jet sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. Caleb Lampkins, the freshman, man, he got outside. Great block on the edge right there by Bohm Schiccherini, and he just takes it down the sideline there. Great play design. Really good job by the wideout Lampkins to break the tackle and get a big gainer.
Starting to become a little bit too cold of weather for that Floridian, but he ran as if he was hot. 1st and 10 for the Bison at the 35, excuse me. Here is Dietrich under pressure. He'll be sacked for a 2nd time as the Hoyas come up and just swarm him that time. Getting the sack for Georgetown is going to be Narcisi, and boy, he just dropped him for a 5-yard loss, and that's something, again, the Hoyas have struggled with this year, getting sacks.
Yeah, and you're going to see the matchup here. That's a tough matchup for Michael Cadden, and he's not up to the task. The longer linebacker for Georgetown just tossed him aside and made the easy sack.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 15 for a Bucknell team that is desperate to score points. Trailing at 7-0 in the first period here to Georgetown. Another handoff. No, it would be a good play-action fake, but Cadden, who would have had 5 yards on the little pitch and catch, just took his eye off the ball, it appears. Charlie, he'll drop it. It'll be 3rd and 15.
Doug, we've watched a lot of Bucknell football over the years. To see Michael Cadden just get tossed aside on the blitz pickup, to see T.J. Cadden drop an easy catch, you don't see that often from these two brothers because they ball out every week. So those are 2 critical errors there for Bucknell offensively.
Leaves the Bison with a 3rd and 15. We'll see if the defensive coordinator, Coach Doherty, goes with a blitz here. We'll drop it back against the inexperienced Dietrich. 3rd and 15 for Bucknell. And another promising drive inside the Hoyas territory. It'll be a 4-man, now a 5-man rush. Dietrich got hit right as he released the ball, and it's incomplete. Intending it for Gary at the 35, but he is dropped down, and so it'll be another punt for Bucknell. Bison had to punt 7 times last week in Ithaca, New York against Cornell, and this Georgetown D stepping up against the inexperienced Bucknell O.
Yeah, and Doug, I think what you're seeing here is Kevin Doherty, the veteran defensive coordinator, showing Chris Dietrich a lot of looks early. He's got him a little bit confused on what he's looking at.
So this will be the first punt today for Matt Shearer. Shearer, not only the place kicker, but the punter. He'll put the toe of the ball down, trying to get it inside the 20. It takes a bounce away from coverage, but Bucknell does angle down there, and Biagirelli, who has already had a great first quarter defensively, touches the ball inside the 5 at the 2. And so the Hoyas will have this drive start at the 2-yard line, leading at 7-0 here in Lewisburg. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN. Lights and cheerleaders trying to get the crowd in attendance here today. A little bit more active with the pink pom-poms for Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the month of October right now. Hoya's in the shadow of their inline. Let's see if Hart will get this carry. And it will be Hart in the end zone. He waits patiently and is able to gain about 4 or 5 yards as he just waits and breaks it up the middle, 4 or 5 exactly to the 7 before Goeen, who had missed the last couple of games with an injury, back to help bring him down.
Yeah, Doug, sometimes a 5-yard run doesn't seem like a lot, but that was a really good 5-yard run by Hart. Very patient, followed his blocking, broke a tackle, and burst for 5.
Now, Jaden Sumter, the Philadelphia native, the sophomore, will come in. He has 7 catches for 41 yards. So here on a 2nd and 5, you may send him out of the backfield. No, he's going to get the carry instead, and they'll push the pile forward, and he goes get the first down. Just a big surge behind Swan, the left tackle, Tyler Barrett out of Glade Spring, Virginia, the left guard, and that'll be the 4th first down of this first half. And Hart is being looked at right now by the training staff. So, you know, great story talking with Coach Scarletta here earlier this week. He said that Tyler Barrett is just a great guy, first-generation college guy out of a small town in Virginia.
Oh, absolutely. That is a great story, and you know his family's so proud of all he's accomplishing and will accomplish.
And here comes a drive that's going to be stopped backwards as this time the carry for Sumter lose yards as Bucknell was ready for it. Jack and Sarah comes up with the big stop, loss of 2, it appears, 2nd and 12.
Yeah, now you got Georgetown behind the sticks a little bit. They've had a hard time doing that other than the first drive, Bucknell. That last drive that Georgetown did such a great job of staying in that 50-50 zone run pass, but now they've got to knock back a little bit here deep in the red zone. This is where you need to get that stop and get that field position.
2nd and 12. Inyaribi is back out there with Thomas. He'll go play action. Has time. Now he's going to go in the backfield, get hit, throw it up for grabs. Coming up to make the catch is going to be the Hoyas, short of the first down, but great job coming up to make that catch that time to Jimmy Kibble. And Thomas, with his athleticism, was able to keep it from being a sack for a safety.
Yeah, so Doug, Des Thomas II does something you don't ever want to see a quarterback do. He's going to go right and then wheel right into trouble and goes right into a potential sack or a blow-up or a fumble. He's able to complete the ball, but that's not the way you would draw it up on a regular basis for a quarterback.
This will be 3rd down now and 4 for the Hoyas, leading at 7-0. We wind under a minute left first period. Thomas looks to pass, has a pocket. Now he's going to be attacked and brought down. England Allen came on a blitz and got him for a sack. And Bucknell doesn't have very many sacks, only number 11 on the year.
Yeah, England Allen comes off that edge. Number 19, the junior from Mays Landing, New Jersey. Watch him on the blitz. Now he gets the matchup on the back and just absolutely jets right by him. That's a fantastic job by England Allen on the blitz. A lot of nickelbacks, Doug, are not really good blitzers. That was job well done by Allen.
So this will bring Lee back on for his 2nd punt. Bucknell, of course, had a great punt return by Cadden last time. Lee, rugby's kick, will kick it away from Cadden. He's going to let it bounce, and it will take a favorable bounce for Georgetown. So this drive will start inside the Georgetown Bison 45. I'll get it straight here, and we are going to keep it right here for this drive. Bucknell defense came up big that time, and a lot of it was that sack by England.
Yeah, absolutely. Inyaribi was the running back in there. And he had just checked in, so now they were down to their 3rd back, and he looked like a little bit young on pass protection, didn't do a good job, just gave the outside up right there, and Allen took advantage of it for the easy sack.
So Dara Adiemi will come back in as the left tackle here. Right guard is the freshman Asselton, who's made his 3rd start. But again, Bucknell has shifted a lot of offensive linemen as this drive starts at the Bucknell 45. Georgetown looks to run blitz, and it'll be a run against it. And Thomas will break it to the corner. Here he comes to the Georgetown 40, to the 30. Stunner steps away at the 20, fights to the 10, then gets batted out of bounds over here inside the 10 by Briggs. They'll say he stepped out at the 6. And boy, that was a nice move by Thomas, who had 2 touchdowns last year against Georgetown and also was able to pick up over 100 yards.
Great run right there by Tariq Thomas there as we go to the end of the quarter. Maybe we'll get that replay when we come back, Doug.
We sure will. It will be 1st down and goal for the Bison when we resume play. The ball will be at the Georgetown 6. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN. I don't know what's... Switch ends of the field now. Bucknell will be moving towards what we like to call the closed end of Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium, and it will be first and goal for the Bison at the 6-yard line, as Thomas has 61 yards in the first half. Hart for Georgetown 59, and it will be a play action from Thomas, and it'll be a lofting pass in the end zone, and Gary couldn't quite come up with it. Good defense over on that near side of the field that time for the Hoyas. Is coming up. Defending was Brian Allen. And Allen, Coach Scarlatta also told us he is coming on as a freshman.
Yeah, Brian Allen's one of those young guys. They've had as many as 5 freshmen play for them on defense. He's certainly one of those really talented, bright stars for the Georgetown defense.
So it'll be second goal for Bucknell at the Georgetown 6, trying to get a score here, but there is a penalty flag. We'll have to see what Eric Lewis, our referee for today's game, legal delay of game?
Delay game. Defense number 38.
Oh.
Half the distance to the goal.
So that could be one of two things. Did one of the defenders touch the ball, or did he try and make calls out there?
Absolutely. There's a good chance that they tried to make a call to get Bucknell to flinch. Absolutely. Good call, Doug, on that one.
So that will move it half the distance to the goal inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. So let's see what Bucknell chooses to do here. And it'll be a run blitz, and Thomas goes right up the middle behind his All-Patriot League center, John Onegian, and he will be stopped just shy of the goal line at about the 1.5.
Yeah, they're knocking on the door now. Bucknell's been here before now, Doug, and has not come away with points, so they need to cash in on this trip.
If you're Coach Fulmer, what do you like? What kind of play call do you like at this place?
Well, I like running the football here, Doug. You've got to challenge your offensive line, and you got to crash this thing into the end zone here behind your best running back.
Going to the pistol formation for the first time in a while. It will be Dietrich going with a pass. Man, wide open. It is touchdown Bison. Went with the little pass across the middle to the tight end, Chuck Cranebucker, his first touchdown catch this year. And I had talked with Cranebucker at practice this week, and I said, why aren't you guys getting the ball? He said, the tight ends need to. Well, they just did.
Yeah, it was National Tight End Day about a month ago in the NFL. We're just a little bit late here for Bucknell, but great job. Great sell by Chris Dietrich out of the pistol. The long ride and the easy flip right over the second level of the defense for 6.
Shearer trying to tie this game up. He's 22 of 23 on point afters. Garwood with the hold, and this kick goes through the uprights good. So Bucknell able to take it 5 plays and go 55 yards to tie it 7-7. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN.
The Patriot League is dedicated to the development of the student athlete through excellence in athletic competition, challenging academics, personal growth, and contributions within their communities. The Patriot League places among the NCAA leaders in graduation rates annually, with graduates moving on to serve in all facets of society by using their talents and voices for positive change. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League.
PenFed Credit Union, we help our members make the most of their personal finances so they can make the most of their dreams.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room. A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are stronger.
We are Georgetown.
At Bucknell University, you can do more. Explore beyond the classroom and beyond our solar system. Test the waters in the lab and on the river. Predict the next market moves and move audiences. Score points and scientific breakthroughs. When you unite your passions, you break through old ways of thinking. You tell a new story that's never been told before because it's yours. Do more at Bucknell University.
Juan Garanton get this ball teed up, but Charlie Fisher, a 5-play, 55-yard drive, but a long run that time by Tariq Thomas off the near side as we were looking at it, set the ball up deep in Georgetown territory, and then the tight end Crane Bucker getting his first career touchdown catch of the year.
Great example of complementary football. Sacked by Allen, not a great punt. They get midfield alignment there to start the drive, and then the long run by Thomas, and they cash it in with Crane Bucker.
And this time, Garanton is going to kick it up high, and the sky kick going to be called for a fair catch by backup tight end Burke Harrell. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Hoyas at the 25. You know, Bucknell's defense did kind of go for a little bit of pressure with Allen, and that paid off.
Yeah, I think, you know, Chris Bowers kind of started to blitz a little bit more towards the end of that Cornell game. I think you're going to see his hand here blitz a little bit more on Des Thomas. Very talented dual threat quarterback, but also very young senior playing the position.
Savion Hart is back in the backfield, though, with Thomas, so that makes it really tricky if you're going to try and blitz. Number one, you have Thomas's wheels, but you also have Hart, who's just a bowling ball of a running back. This whole drive will start the 25. Hart with an unbelievable man to make a man miss, and he'll take it for a first down gallop of 20 yards all the way up to the 45. What an incredible move, going left and then bursting right for Hart.
Well, watch this move here by Savion Hart. This is some secret sauce right there that hit him with. And, I mean, he just jump cuts and Sarah out of his shoes, and then the burst straight up the gut for another 10, 15 yards. Outstanding run by an outstanding running back, Savion Hart.
Yes, he goes over 60 yards with that carry right there. 1st and 10 for the Hoyas in a 7-all game in the second here in Lewisburg. Thomas goes play action, throws a darting pass. Kibble catches it, and immediately Cormier will drag him down short of the sticks, but it was an 8-yard pickup that time by Thomas to Kibble.
This is nice rhythm and timing here by Georgetown on offense in the pass game. Just a ride to the play action, the short side pivot route or stop route, some people call it, right on the money to Jimmy Kibble.
Is that something you have to watch out for a hitch and go later?
Oh, absolutely. And with Kimmel, I mean, he's got the whole toolbox now, route running. He is a nuanced route runner. He's a good one.
2nd down and 2 now for the Hoyas in Bucknell territory. Big hole off the left side, and Hart takes advantage. He'll take it inside the 45 and be dragged down at the 40 by Bucknell's Sam Milligan. Milligan, we heard Coach Bowers, the defensive coordinator, said they're going to play Sam Milligan on defense some this game, and he made the tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a special player to be able to do that, particularly inserting into your defense towards the latter part of the season, which Sam Milligan is trying to do everything he can to help out this Bucknell defense that has been besieged by injury.
Now 1st and 10 pass play by Thomas. Has time. It breaks down. Now throws it up for grabs. Kibble is there. It's going to be a catch by Kibble inside the 5. Unbelievable play by Kibble at the 2. He grabs it and pulls it in at the 1-yard line. He, of course, made national news when he caught that touchdown pass to beat Morgan State at the end of the game 2 games ago. He was on the Jimmy Kimmel show because his name rhymes with Kimmel, and here it is, Charlie.
Watch it. This is just a deep V route that I like to call it, and then they go deep over behind it, under it, right there. Great pressure by Kinnear. This is a nice throw, but even a better catch by Jimmy Kibble.
And off Hart. Hart scored once. He scores twice in this game as he'll go off the left side, and it's now a lead for the Georgetown Hoyas. Savion Hart had 6 touchdown runs this year, now 2 already in this first half.
And you saw a situation there where they took advantage of a good running game to go play action and take a deep shot from around midfield. They cash it in. Savion Hart finishes the drive right there with the easy touchdown. He just bounces a little bit outside and then barrels into the end zone for the 6-point TD here for Georgetown.
The clock is still moving, and I'm not sure if the clock is supposed to be moving. I think the officials just now noticed it. It had probably run off. Well, it's still moving. It had run off probably about 10 or 12 seconds. Of course, the officials keep the clock on the field, so I'm sure Mr. Lewis, our referee, will tell us what the exact time is. Does that mess up your point after if you're Anderson here?
No, I don't think so. I mean, just reset it, but it messes me up because when you said the clock's running, I said, well, I've been doing this a long time here, coaching and playing. I said, I've never seen the clock run on the try for point. So here we go. We'll reset it. The officials will get it right on the field.
And here comes Anderson with the point after. Gets it right through the uprights. Good. And it only took 4 plays for this Hoyas team to go 75 yards, a couple of big runs, a couple of big passes, and a big touchdown run by Hart to finish this drive. 14-7 Georgetown, under 12 minutes left first half in Lewisburg. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN. Some of the folks that have gathered here at Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium in Lewisburg in a shootout right now, Charlie Fisher, 14-7 Georgetown.
Yeah, we got a good one there. When these two teams get together, it gets a little wild and woolly, so we'll see how this continues to play out.
Here comes the kick by Anderson. High kick into the sun, and Cadden will take it. He'll go up the far side to the 15, to the 20, breaks a tackle at the 22, and then is going to be grabbed around the ankles at the 23. And we'll say it was the Ekabachi, number 35, individual who brought him down, as that is Matthew Plunkett, the senior out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, who Coach Scarlatta says is a great guy. And, of course, if you're going to wear that jersey, number 35, you got to wear it proudly.
That is a special number in the Georgetown football tradition, and we can talk about that more as the game goes along there. But that number is special for the Hoyas.
Certainly is. This drive will start at the Bucknell 24. Dietrich, through that touchdown pass, will hand it off to Thomas, and Thomas goes up behind his All-Patriot League center of Negan up to the 29, it looks like, not quite the 30-yard line. Interior part of the Georgetown D brings him down. Pickup of right at 4.
Yeah, this is a big part of Bucknell and their success today, is their ability to continually run the ball effectively.
Bucknell was able to do it last home game 2 games ago against Richmond.
I thought against Richmond it's as good as they've looked rushing the football in the last 2 or 3 years.
And here comes Thomas again trying to catch the corner. Does, but not as effective as he did earlier. Good job bringing him down that time for the Hoyas. Chris Martin helps to haul him down, but it'll bring up a 3rd and about 2 for Georgetown's defensive team, the team they're playing today, and that's the Bison here trailing at 14-7.
Yeah, this linebacker group for Georgetown, we haven't talked about them a whole lot, but they are a very, very, very talented group on the second level of the defense.
This is 3rd and 2 for a Bucknell team that has converted 50% of the third down tries so far this half. Cranebucker in motion to the right, now cuts back left, blocks it for Cadden. Cadden, as the defenders for Georgetown rip at the ball, will come up the middle for a first down to the 40-yard line. So good surge for a band-aided offensive line for offensive line coach Pearson for Bucknell.
Yeah, absolutely. Great surge in the middle. If you're going to get a surge behind anybody, get it behind Johnny O, the very talented center for Bucknell. He just paved the way for a big gainer right there.
And a nice block by Cranebucker, the tight end. Coach Fulmer likes that play. This will be a quick screen. High grab by DJ Cadden. Nobody to block, but he makes a man miss. Not anyway, as Gary had one man blocked, but Cadden had to beat another, and he does for a 9-yard gain near midfield.
So, Doug, let's talk about these two guys. TJ Cadden, Jimmy Kibble, very similar in their build and their skill set. They can do it all. You saw his open field ability just like Kibble.
This will be a quick hitter now for Bucknell's Cadden. It's TJ's younger brother, Michael. He'll take it into Georgetown territory and pick up a first down, moving the sticks on the third first down of this game for the Bison.
A couple angry runs there by Michael Cadden, trying to make up for that sack that he gave up on the previous drive. So Michael Cadden, very talented, competitive running back. He wanted to show us and everybody else, that's not me. Two really nice runs for the first down.
Bucknell already in terms of rushing yards, almost 70 on the game, but lost a lot because of sacks earlier in the first quarter. And here comes a delay handoff to Thomas. He's going to break a tackle down the near sideline. He'll get grabbed on a nice form tackle by Briggs inside the Georgetown 40 at the 35.
Right now, Doug, this refurbished offensive line, maybe we'll call it that, for Bucknell, is really getting the job done. Resetting the line of scrimmage. Tariq Thomas, he's off to a hot start.
And wow, what a tackle by Briggs. That's the kind of tackle you want from a defensive back. Here is Dietrich, feeling confident, has a man open. He'll throw it complete to TJ Cadden, who just sits and waits in the zone and grabs on the far side for a pickup down to the 10.
All right, Doug, that's what we call a 3-level throw or a flood scheme in the throwing game. You got a deep clear out, you got a second-level sail route and somebody underneath, and he just dropped it in to the second level. That's layering the football, as we like to call it. Really nice job by Chris Dietrich.
And now play is stopped, and Georgetown takes a timeout. Now with 8:21 left in the half, a lot of people say, wait, it's way too early to take a timeout here. Coach, I think this is a great timeout because Georgetown's defense is on its heels.
Yeah, when you get on your heels a little bit, listen, you can be less judicial, let's put it that way, with your timeouts in the first half as opposed to the second half. You can use them a little bit more often in the second half. Now, you want to hold those in your hip pocket simply because at the end of the game, you need to get the ball back. You need your timeouts to do so.
And right here is where you got the defense help. You have some help to the defense because you have the back of the end zone. So you don't want your defenders to be all discombobulated, because if they calm down, they have an extra defender in the back of the end zone, and you've got an inexperienced quarterback. But right now, Dietrich is looking pretty good, and in my opinion, 5 of 9 for 80 yards. He's starting to gain confidence. You don't want him to gain confidence.
He's starting to find some rhythm, particularly throwing the football, and the running game is helping set that up.
So this is Bucknell now with Thomas, who already has rushed the ball for an average of almost 11 yards per carry, 85 yards on the ground for the youngster. And he'll get the carry this time right up the middle. They will seal that area after a 3-yard pickup, as Bucknell's Mark Mulhern trying to open a seam there, the left guard.
Doug, it looked like that run was going to burst for a whole lot more when it started, but Mose on the tackle right there just burst in from his linebacker spot and got the ball on the ground. And again, we've talked about this Georgetown defense. They've got some very talented players, kind of a sprinkling of older guys and younger guys, but they've certainly got some talent on defense.
2nd and goal now at the 8 of Georgetown as Bucknell tries to answer the call. Here's a handoff to Michael Cadden, and Cadden will inch the ball a little bit further inside the 7 at about the 6-yard line. This is the 10th play of this drive as Bucknell started this drive at the Bison 24.
Straight man coverage outside, loaded box inside. Bucknell challenged it, was only able to get maybe a yard or two to set up this 3rd down. Doug, when you're inside that 10-yard line, these are where the play calls get tougher, and boy, the shrinkage of the field makes everything a little more difficult.
And that timeout looks to be brilliant right now. It's 3rd down. Cranebucker caught the touchdown pass a minute ago off to the right side. Play clock under 10. 3rd and goal at the 7. Dietrich looks right. Now he's going to step up in the pocket. Now he's going to run. He'll lumber to the 2, to the 1, and the youngster scores 6. His first career rushing touchdown gives the Bison an opportunity to tie the score.
Well, that's a great job by Chris Dietrich because he's decisive, Doug. He doesn't have what he wants. He pulls the ball down. He takes off. Listen, he's a big boy now. You don't want to tackle him too many times. He's not quite as fast and nimble as Ralph, but watch him get his vertical, gets under his pads, dives into the end zone for an easy 6.
And here's another thing he did. He moved the ball from his throwing hand, his right to his left. As Georgetown was ripping at his right hand, he had it in his left, and he was able to score. And here comes Shearer trying to get the point after to tie the game up, and he does. 14-14 to score halfway through this first half. We'll come back to Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium in a moment. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN.
The Patriot League is dedicated to the development of the student athlete through excellence in athletic competition, challenging academics, personal growth, and contributions within their communities. The Patriot League places among the NCAA leaders in graduation rates annually, with graduates moving on to serve in all facets of society by using their talents and voices for positive change. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League.
At PenFed Credit Union, we help our members make the most of their personal finances so they can make the most of their dreams.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room. A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are stronger.
We are Georgetown.
At Bucknell University, you can do more. Explore beyond the classroom and beyond our solar system. Test the waters in the lab and on the river. Predict the next market moves and move audiences. Score points and scientific breakthroughs. When you unite your passions, you break through old ways of thinking. You tell a new story that's never been told before because it's yours. Do more at Bucknell University.
And welcome back once again here to Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium on a sunny day. A few clouds high above, but it's been a beautiful day and a great game so far, Charlie. It was a 10-play, 76-yard drive for Bucknell, answering the 4-play, 75-yard drive earlier by the Hoyas.
Yeah, we talked about Chris Dietrich off air with the switch of the ball and keeping it away from the defender. So he probably spent some time with Jerome Smith in the running back room right there. That's good fundamentals by the Bucknell quarterback.
Another sky kick taken by Guaranton. Guaranton had so many touchbacks earlier, as Carroll will get the fair catch and start this drive again at the 25 of Georgetown. But he has been kicking it a little bit short, so kind of been going with a lot more sky kicks lately.
Yeah, as of late, it has been that way. So Juan's just doing what they're asking him to do, and he's doing a good job of it. Chase Murdoch, obviously, wanting to keep it away from those deep return guys.
As Thomas will send Kibble to a slot to the top of your screen. Jersey number 13, got to watch for him. He had been on the short side here, so they moved him off to the wide side, and this will be a handoff. Hart, no, Thomas will fake the handoff, keep it, and he'll easily gain 10 yards to the 35. Step out of bounds after a first down run, and boy, what a good fake that time by Thomas.
Yeah, watch this. Deuce Geter, who's right there, he just gets faked out of his shoes right there. And then he comes up hobbled. Don't know if it's an ankle or a hamstring, but he's down, Doug, on our near side.
Yeah, you can't quite see him at the bottom of your screen because of what we call our score bug, the area where you can see the score on the screen. There is Geter being treated by Eric and the training staff out there. And it looks like they are looking at his leg. Of course, he does wear a knee brace. As we have 6:53 left in the first half, just looking at some stats, Thomas has only thrown the ball 5 times, has completed all 5 for 86 yards. And he also had that long pass to Kibble of 39. He has that great run as well, and helped set up as Geter will walk off under his own power, set up a touchdown. And then also Dietrich, the quarterback for Bucknell, is 5 of 9 for 80 yards in that pass for a touchdown to the tight end, Cranebucker.
Yeah, the one thing when I watch Georgetown offensively, I like what they're doing is with Jimmy Kibble, they're all Patriot League wide receiver, kind of do-it-all kind of guy. They move him all over the place, and I always felt like as an offensive coordinator, head coach, you want to make sure that your best player is being moved around so nobody can zero in on him and find him real easily. Rob Spence, veteran OC, he knows that. They're doing a good job with Kibble, keeping him inside in the slot, Doug, short side, wide side.
Thomas will have Hart off to his right, as you can see after that run of 10 yards, and this will be Hart getting the ball pulled away by Thomas. They'll flip it out to the far side, and getting the corner up there on that far side of the field is going to be the receiver, the tight end, Isaiah Grimes, his 15th catch this year, the junior out of Philadelphia. And then there is an injured Georgetown player back at the 37 after that, picked up 5 to the 40.
And Doug, if you watch this, a good job by Grimes, but I'm not sure if you see this replay how there wasn't a hold on the far side of the field, because anytime you see that jersey get tugged and you get turned, you saw Hoying right there, the outside nickel backer for Bucknell getting turned. Sure looked like a hold to me, but it wasn't called.
Still looking at an injured Georgetown player. We're keeping it right here with 6:38 left. And don't know if Geter is back out there for the Bison. Couldn't quite see who the individual was that was injured. But he's getting up, and it was one of the backup offensive linemen this time, not a guy that we expected to start.
Sawicki?
Yep, Sawicki. He had kind of been battling some injuries this year, the big senior out of Sarasota, Florida. Actually was a 4-yard gain there by Grimes, the tight end, up to the 39. I want to give a shout out to Jeremy Huber. He does what we do, but he does it on the Georgetown side of things for ESPN Plus. Great play-by-play analyst, and we had a play-by-play artist, and we had a chance to talk with him last year down at DC.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, First Class does a great job. This Hoya program is a first-class program, and I think their coach is one of the best around. He's done a really nice job with this program.
Here comes a nice job defensively by the Bison as they will tackle Hart for no gain. Jack and Sarah, who points skyward, I'm sure, because of his dad, who is, of course, passed away here just a week ago. And now another injured Georgetown player. We'll have to see who this is. This is an offensive line that, other than Sawicki, had been pretty much intact for Coach Scarlatta and the offensive line coach, Joey Parton, for this Georgetown team all year. Many of them came back from last year's Georgetown team that had a really good record in 2024, 5-6, 2-4 in the Patriot League. And we'll have to see who this one is. It was on the right side of the offensive line. Appears he's slowly getting up, and you already have some individuals in that medical tent right now. Sawicki now, it appears, is out of the medical tent.
He's out of the tent, and another guy might be going in it right here, but Sawicki doesn't look like he's moving great.
Like a back, maybe?
Yeah.
Or a groin? I mean,
not
he was
sure.
kind of
It looks like it could be. Obviously, it looks like it's lower body or lower back for Sawicki. Now we're not sure who's down. We never speculate on who's down because that's not fair to anybody, so we will wait to see what happens there. But, Doug, we talked about this is what has really plagued the Bucknell offensive line in the last couple weeks has been injuries, lack of continuity. We saw Bucknell run the ball so well against Richmond. I thought maybe their best performance running the football that I've seen in covering the Bison the last 4 or 5 years. They were really sharp. But last couple weeks, it's been a little spotty, and a lot of that has to do with just in and out.
Well, yes. Xavier Allen, the great junior left tackle, has missed the last 2 games for the Bison. Oddly enough, both of them losses, of course. Yep. You also had Natali going in and out as well. And the injured player is going to be that veteran grad student, Kason Mahuka Ka'awa, out of Hawaii. And, of course, as we said, there are a ton of Polynesians, and we'll have to see who comes in for him, Charlie.
And that's a big, big loss for Georgetown. That big interior, block of granite right there, who's such a talented right guard right there. And that does not look good. He's not moving very well with that. It looks like what would be a left knee, Doug, or an ankle?
Yeah, it's really difficult to say, but he's definitely going to come out under his own power, but with a little assistance too, as Grimes comes to the bottom of your screen on 3rd and 5. Thomas to pass, throws a dart. It's going to be caught for a first down. Yes, what a great catch that time by Mahassan as the sophomore from California able to haul it in, and that was a huge third down conversion as the Hoyas were 1 for 3 prior to that.
Yeah, Doug, they go with a condensed set right there and run a quick out, and boy, it looked like England Allen was right there for the defense, just wasn't able to quite make the play. Mahassan with the first down.
1st and 10 for the Hoyas in a 14-14 game, 5.5 minutes left in the half. This will be a great run by Thomas, but an even better defensive play by Goheen. He just grabbed him around the hips and slings him to the ground. That's what they tell you as a defender. Don't watch the legs, don't watch the upper body, watch the hips.
Yeah, absolutely. And he killed the engine right there. This is a great job by Goheen on the quarterback read. He pulls it out the back door. Goheen was up to the task. Really nice tackle.
And he had missed the last 2. So Bucknell had lost 2 in a row. A lot of guys were injured for Coach Cicchini's team. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. This is Thomas looking to pass, has some pressure, now is going to step up, now is going to be dragged out by Goheen. He does it again, Charlie.
Well, we got 2 Captain Jacks. We got Jack and Sarah and Jack Goheen. What a great, this is just 2, man, great plays by Jack Goheen right here. Look at him right here. Just a similar tackle. He kills the engine, wrap him up, throw him down. 2 TFLs in a row sets up a 3rd down and 14, Doug.
And the Hoyas have to make it down to the Bucknell 44, and Bison have 6 guys along the sticks. Can't quite see him in our screenshot here. 3rd and 14. Play clock now entering 10. It'll be a handoff, and here comes Hart. He's going to juke past a man at the 48, but then is going to be tackled by Piaggiarelli at the 49, and Hart getting up a little slowly there. He will not get the 1st down. Is this a place that you may try a fake here? Or no?
I don't think so, Doug. I really believe they'll kick. Try to pin them back. That was a good job by Drew Cormier right there, coming up in support out of the secondary to get a sure tackle. That's not easy to do on Savion Hart. With Bucknell having 6-7 guys that deep, that picket fence on the 1st down strike, many times you'll run it there and hope that you can run into a 1st down.
Josh Leff has 10 inside the opponent's 20, and he's going to get a good end-over-end kick that is going to force Cadden to call for a fair catch at about the 15, spotted at the 14. So Bucknell's defense comes up again after Bucknell, if you remember here, Charlie, the Bison held the Hoyas on the first offensive series for Georgetown, moved the ball right down the field, but were unable to get a touchdown, settled for a field goal attempt. It missed from 33 yards. Georgetown came right down the field, scored a touchdown, and it looked bad for the Bison. What has allowed Bucknell to hang in there?
Well, I think Bucknell's gotten the run game going a little bit, and Chris Dietrich has settled in. That's 2 things that I really like watching this football game. It's kind of been punch, counter punch, like 2 heavyweight fighters going at it on the field.
Spot the ball actually at the 15. Thomas stays in there, and this time he has nowhere to go. Boy, that Georgetown defense, the interior, all those white shirts were right around that play.
Run blitz right there, Doug, from the nickelback. He comes off the open side edge, the field side edge right there, and everybody slants across anytime you blitz from the field, and the slant ran them right in to the zone play going away.
3 minutes left here in the first half. Bucknell trying to get the lead for the first time. Even the Bison, as we said, had an opportunity earlier in the first quarter. And there's a pass that's going to be caught by Thomas. Here comes Thomas making a man miss at the 19. Then is going to be dragged down short of the 1st down at the 20-yard line. Is coming up to make the stop, I believe, for the Warriors that time. May have been
Doug,
Mose, but boy,
that's one of those. Drew Fulmer was up in the box. I can tell you his heart just went into his throat on that play. You got a weak side blitz. He's clean, and the young quarterback kind of throws it up for grabs right in the middle of the field, but fortunately, Tariq Thomas came down to it, but that is one of those hold your breath kind of plays.
Single safety at the top of your screen. Can't quite see him for Georgetown. There's another guy back at the 31 for a 3rd and 5 for Bucknell. Dietrich looks left, throws left. He'll throw it well over the head of his intended receiver, Nate Anderson, who had broken off the route at the 32. And I think that Dietrich thought he was going to fake that and then go up the field.
He sure did. So anytime you have a situation, press man on Nate Anderson right there. Basically, you say if you're even, you're leaving. And he looked even right there. At least that's what Dietrich saw. So he throws it deep. Obviously, Nate Anderson didn't think he was even, so he broke the route off, so you have miscommunication.
And Mahasen back here to get this punt. This is going to be the third punt of the first half for Bucknell's Shearer. Kind of a takes a very favorable Georgetown bounce on a short punt by Shearer. It will go back past the 50 all the way to the Bucknell 47. So this is going to be a great opportunity for the Hoyas starting this drive at the 47-yard line with 2:10 left in the half. We have the 2-minute timeout upcoming, and then of course Georgetown has 2 of 3 timeouts. Bucknell also has used a timeout here in this first half.
So it's been a little bit uncharacteristic, obviously, of Matt Shearer because he's been so good. It's hard handling both duties, Doug, punting and kicking. He's been so good at it, but now we have the missed field goal early, and he really hasn't gotten on track punting the football. A little bit cooler today, no window, and just hasn't been able to hit a good one just yet.
Hart's back out there. He'll get the quick pitch out to his left. He's going to get a block, and he'll take it inside the Bison 45 and be dropped after a 5-yard gain down to the 41 by Biagirelli, and that will take us to our 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes remain in the half. We're tied at 14 between Bucknell and Georgetown. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN. Great shot there. Christy Matthews at Memorial Stadium's field turf surface. Pretty news field turf surface, actually, as it's 2nd down and 5 for the Hoyas in a score that is typical of these series. 14 all. Big surge by the offensive line. Hart's going to break it outside, but he loses yards. He had probably a great chance to get close to first down, but Hoying comes up after missing so many games with injuries this year and drops him for a loss, and now Hart is getting up slowly. Watch this here, Charlie.
Yeah, this is a really good job by Hoying right here. He just stays with the play, chased him down, and that is what you call a vintage shoestring tackle right there, Doug.
Wow.
That is job well done by Mr. Hoying.
Are you surprised Hart didn't just follow his blockers and try and get what he could get?
Doug, you know, with a guy that talented, you try not to overcoach him, let him use his vision. He about escaped and got down that sideline. His feet, his niftiness, his vision is so good. It's the reason why he's gained a lot of yards in his career. He is a town-to-town back that could play a lot of places.
He's a sophomore out of Minneapolis, 5'10", 200. He gets up. I think the way he was tackled by Hoying, it may have just kind of twisted his ankle a little bit. He appears to be okay. He had 416 rushing yards coming in. He was one of our impact players that we were focusing on.
Yeah, and absolutely. And he had a big, I think he had 112 a year ago against Bucknell down in D.C. So, he's had success against the Bison before, but, hey, quite honestly, he's had success against a lot of people.
He certainly has. And you saw Aaron Davis in that shot. Right. Hoying made the tackle. Aaron Davis has missed the last 4 games with injuries. So, Bucknell trying to get some of its injured players back. Gherkin may not play the rest of the year, may also not have a couple other guys for the rest of the year.
It's been a Rolodex on defense, and you never know who's going to show up for the roll call, right? For Chris Bowers, it's just been tough. But they're doing the best job that they can, having to mix and match defensive personnel.
Hoyas 2 of 5 on 3rd down. Will send Grimes out from the tight end. Sumter's in now for Hart on 3rd and 5. And it looks like Thomas is going to go that way. No, he's going to take off and run. He'll break it outside. And what another great tackle in the open space by Bucknell's Brandon Biagirelli. And Bucknell takes its final timeout. Bison had taken a timeout a moment ago. Now takes its final to stop the clock here. Watch this, Charlie.
Yeah, this is really good. BB, B2, whatever you want to call him. Biagirelli, there's a lot of names you can give him, but one thing, man, he is a talented long Mike backer. I think he's clearly one of the best inside backers in this league.
Loss back at the 43-yard line. So, Bucknell, you always say it. You're a former head coach, former assistant for so many programs in Division I college and II as well. You have to know how to manage the clock, and the Bucknell coaching staff, Coach Cicchini, his assistants, have done a pretty good job to this point, haven't they?
Outstanding job right there. You saw Coach Dave Cicchini run right down the sideline. You're watching that play unfold. You see the sack, and boom, you're right in his ear calling that timeout, because every possession is a jewel, as I used to say. You want the football, that's how you score, and certainly they want to give them an opportunity here now in the no-huddle offense. Let Cadden catch this football, take off, try to get you a first down in the return, and then set up that no-huddle offense.
Left, putting the toe of the ball down. He will kick it to Cadden, who has to immediately call for a fair catch. 2 straight inside the 20 punts for the senior left. So Bucknell will get it back at the 10-yard line. No timeouts, 97 ticks left. You got to be careful right here in a 14-all game.
This first play, Doug, you always talk about the first play. So you kind of want to be in between aggressive and somewhat conservative in that zone right there. But if they get good yards on this first down, you're going to see the gas pedal go down in a hurry.
Is this a good time for a screen pass?
Absolutely. Screen or a short pass. Maybe you try to look for Milligan or Cadden on a short pass, see if they can break a tackle. But you want to be smart here.
Dietrich making his 3rd career start, goes with the handoff this time to Cadden, and Cadden does break it. He'll take it up near first down yardage, and he may have it. What a run off the left side.
So now you're going to go full throttle. You can run it as Bucknell just did to see what you get. So now you want to rock and roll and get this thing going a little bit.
Was not a first down. Clock will stop to move the chains in the last 2 minutes of the half. Pickup of 9, though. And it'll be Cadden again on the delay handoff by Dietrich this time. The Georgetown D was waiting for him. So Bucknell may be trying to play this just to run out the half. If you're Coach Scarlatta, do you take one of your
Well, he certainly could right here. Doesn't look like he's going to, but he certainly could to try to get Bucknell they're now in a 3rd down situation. So obviously he's going to hold it right here to see what Bucknell does, to see if they throw the football. You could get an incomplete pass. I think with the young quarterback, Bucknell may elect just to run this football or throw a quick screen out there and see if they get it.
12 on the play clock, 37 remaining in the first half in a 14-all game. Gary in motion. It will look like Dietrich will pass, and he throws it, but he throws it a little bit in front of Milligan, and that will stop the clock with 27 ticks left. That, if you're a Bucknell fan, is exactly what you didn't want.
Absolutely. Now the advantage goes to Georgetown because they've still been able to hold on to that timeout. They're going to get the ball, you would think, in decent position right here, somewhere around midfield, and have an opportunity with the timeout. That opens up the whole field, inside and outside. Use your timeout and try and get a field goal.
And, of course, already got a Hail Mary at the end of the game against Morgan State.
Yeah, they kind of know how to handle that, don't they?
Yes, they do. That was the end of the game, of course. Here comes pressure on Shearer, and he gets his best punt of the afternoon, and it forces Mahassan into a fair catch. He'll take it at the 48 of Georgetown with 1 timeout remaining. The Hoyas had a 48-yard pass from Thomas to Kibble to win that game against Morgan State. I was talking with Coach Scarlatta earlier here this week, Charlie Fisher, and he was saying that 2 years ago, the last time the Hoyas played here at Christie, it was one of the top 5 games in all of his coaching and playing history. I'm going to guess number one might be that win against Morgan State 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that'd be right up there. I've won one game with the Hail Mary in my career, and you never forget that. I mean, it just you don't expect. It's like a hole-in-one, Doug.
And here's Thomas looking to pass. Now he's under pressure. He's been sacked 3 times this half. He's going to just run out of bounds. And a wise decision by Hoying, the junior from Ohio, to not hit him out of bounds, noting that he was going to go out of bounds. But that'll go as another sack. That'll be 4 sacks this half against Thomas, who's so elusive. How is Bucknell getting so much pressure?
Well, they're getting pressure outside and inside. That's a nice job. They're bringing a little bit of extra heat right there. But I'd like to see Des Thomas just throw that ball away right away. As soon as you're outside the pocket, you throw it away. Every tick of the clock is so important.
It's down to 15 ticks now. 2nd and 15, play action. Here's a dart pass by Thomas. Man, wide open up the far sideline. There is a late flag after the play, and it's in the backfield of Georgetown as the ball was caught over that far sideline by the tight end Grimes. We'll have to see what Eric Lewis has to say. We already had 2 penalties on Georgetown in this first half. This could be a face mask on some of these backup offensive linemen for the Hoyas, I guess. That's going to probably take away the option of trying to go for it here with 7 ticks left. Here's the replay.
I think you see right here, you're going to see the face mask inside right there, maybe?
Well, there are a bunch of guys blocking up high.
Came in very, very late. Right there it is.
Right there within Sarah.
Right was in Sarah.
Yeah,
right
Sarah
there.
was tackled.
This is going to shut this drive down. You would think that to just run this ball and bail out of this drive and take it to the half. The thing about it is, Doug, Thomas Anderson, the kicker, he's 3 out of 7 from 40 plus. So they had an opportunity right there at midfield to give him a chance to kick a field goal.
They're going to move the clock to 7 seconds. It shows 5 right now, but they'll put a couple extra seconds on it. Now, if you're Georgetown, you have one more timeout left.
Yeah, they just used it, Doug. So I believe yeah, you're right. I believe they got one.
Nope, they just took it off.
They took it off. I thought so. So I just can't imagine this is anything other than maybe a quick screen or a layer screen or a handoff to Savion Hart, whoever might be in there. You're not going to take a huge chance right here at 14 all. You know, sometimes you just have to, hey, slow it down here a little bit. Let's think about what's best. Now, the OC, Rob Spence, I don't think will want to do that, but listen, the play caller always kind of sees a different perspective than the head coach. I think this would just be maybe a handoff right here.
You know, I was talking, as I said, with Coach Scarlett earlier this week, and he was such a good assistant coach for so long and defensive coordinator for many years under the great Bob Benson, who's now at Penn. And I asked him, do you ever coach on the sidelines, even though you're the head coach? He goes, no, I let my assistants do that. I do my coaching during the course of the week.
Well, he's got enough to manage as the head coach, and part of that is the clock right here. He used the timeout. Let's see what they do here.
2nd and 29. They'll just go up the middle to Hart, in Uribe, and he will take it for about 5, 6 maybe for Geeter. It's good to see Geeter back out there. We'll drop him, and that will end the first half here. A first half that saw the Hoyas jump on top after Bucknell had a great opportunity to score the first points of the game. Hoyas went up 7-0. Then it was 7-7, 14-7, now 14-14. Your impressions of the first half?
It's been a fun game to do right here. It's been back and forth. You know, Coach Scarlett talked about those 5 plays that really decide a game, and every head coach knows that. We're probably going to see a couple of those 5 plays here that's going to determine this win for somebody in the second half. It usually comes down to a big play or a big explosive play.
And that's usually the case when Bucknell and Georgetown meet here in Patriot League action. Well, we're tied at 14 at the break. We invite you to stay tuned. We will take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have a preview of tonight's very big Patriot League men's soccer game between first place American and last year's Patriot League champion, the Bucknell Bison. That will come up at 6 p.m. tonight on ESPN+. We'll have a preview for you when we return. At the intermission, it's the Hoyas 14 and the Bison 14 as you're watching Patriot League football on ESPN.
big dreams of Bison athletes. If you believe it, you can achieve it. Geisinger is the official sports medicine and orthopedics provider of the Bucknell Bison.
Today, we're in the herd with men's soccer. Coming off a shutout midweek non-league victory at St. Joseph's on Tuesday, Bucknell coach Dave Brandt and the Bison will be back in conference action this Saturday when they meet American University. Coach Brandt says that playing non-conference games late in the Patriot League season isn't great, especially away from Lewisburg.
I mean, obviously, we're looking for momentum into American this Saturday in the last 3 games. I will say, too, we've been road warriors. I mean, we have 14 games under our belt, and 10 have been on the road. It's shocking. I don't know if there's another team in the country at this point in the season that's played 10 games on the road. It's crazy. So, our guys have hung in there. It's obviously more difficult to travel, just the wear and tear, academics, etc. But guys have handled it well so far.
He says that going into the game against the Eagles, he wants his team paying attention to areas of improvement.
I do think it's important for us to focus on process, on effort, on quality of those things. Obviously, the results will take care of themselves. Of course, they matter. I mean, everybody knows that. But trying to keep the team's focus correct in that regard so that we go in with a good mentality.
Division I college soccer seasons are long and grinding, and injuries are not uncommon. Unfortunately, the Bison have been dealt 2 tough ones to 2 starters, senior Ben Sheffield and junior Francisco Hidalgo. Hidalgo injured his foot against Boston University, and unfortunately, he is used to injuries, both in high school and 2 years ago at Bucknell.
I will say it takes a lot of mental toughness, and I'll say I guess I learned that a lot with my coaches in high school. I had a coach in particular who helped me out with a lot with that. And then now with Brandt, I mean, so much that we do is about being mentally strong. And even though it really doesn't apply to injuries, you can apply everything he says to an injury. So I've honestly just taken everything that he's told us and applied it to this. So even something like this that's put me out for my junior year and the injury I had freshman year, I mean, it's not really affecting me too much. I'm kind of just here for the guys and learning that it's not all about me and I can be here for other people. So that's how I'm trying to take it.
He says that he may not be on the field right now, but he can still help the team.
I'm huge on energy. I'll say just about anything. If you come to a practice, I'll be yelling the most random stuff ever. So that's my thing. I like to yell, I like to talk. So, I mean, trying to get other guys to do the same now is huge. I mean, you'll hear me at practice and at games, trying to help everything out, just being another set of eyes for the guys on the field and the guys off of it.
For Sheffield, he thinks his experience might be useful for the Bison defense.
Besides Jackson and I, we have a pretty young back line, especially back 3. So I think it's all about just giving them confidence and giving them a couple tips when, we're in the middle of a game and just letting them know like what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and just supporting them throughout the entire game.
He says the doctors are hopeful he can come back in around 3 weeks, and that is what he's shooting for.
I think a lot of guys were kind of surprised how, energetic I was after the injury, and I think it just all comes down to my trust in the guys to get us to a point where I can come back. And yeah, I'm honestly super excited to keep the season going.
The Bison and the American Eagles meet at Emmett Field beginning at 6 p.m. on Saturday night. The Patriot League on ESPN is brought to you by PenFed. PenFed is an official credit union partner of the Patriot League. By Herff Jones, proud to be the official championship jeweler of the Patriot League. And the Patriot League. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League. Back here at Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium, some exciting plays. 14-14 score at the half. Charlie Fisher. We'll look at some of the highlights if we can see them here. Our monitor keeps going in and out. Here it comes some. Georgetown, after Bucknell missed a field goal, came right down, and boy, this guy knows how to run, doesn't he?
Yeah, Sabian Hart, he is a workhorse right there, and they need him. Here's the counter play. Some good blocking on the left side.
Charlie Cranebucker caught a touchdown pass. We'll see in a minute. Got a key block, and then Thomas took it inside. And here's the touchdown pass from Dietrich.
Yeah, we lost it right there, but that's just easy right there on the pistol, the long ride right there, an easy throw to Cranebucker. Now the long pass to Kibble. Cormier gets turned around, and Kibble turns it into 6.
And it sets up Sabian Hart's second touchdown run of that first half.
Boy, and had the big guy in there at fullback too, big number 55. He just paved the way.
And then Dietrich actually took off and got his first rushing touchdown of the year as the guy making his third career start for Ralph Rucker IV, able to pass for 87 yards and then able to run that one in. And here are your stats from the first half. Both teams had a good job, did a good job with the ground game.
Yeah, both these teams are, you know, when you watch them play, they're pretty equal. They're pretty much the same type of team. Both teams have run the ball fairly effectively. The starting running backs have been good. Hart and Thomas have been effective. I just think it's going to come down to who can create a big explosive at the right time to really kind of pull away in this second half. But again, based on the history of these two teams, we might be here a while, Doug.
Clouds starting to come in here to central Pennsylvania as this one getting ready to be kicked off by Anderson. And we are underway here to start the third quarter. Cadden, it appears, will take it out from his 1. Here he goes to the far side, gets chopped down immediately. What a great defensive play there by the Hoyas. Is coming in to undercut him is one of the starting corners, Keenan Richardson Cook. And he really came up with a nice open field tackle.
Yeah, really nice tackle right there. He just burst through on the left side, stayed in his lane. Like you said, Doug, very descriptive, just chopped his legs out from underneath him.
So this drive will start at the 10-yard line for Bucknell. Dietrich, as we said, passed for 87 yards in the first half. 85, excuse me, as he was 6 of 12. Actually spot the ball at the 11-yard line, and he'll go with the handoff up the middle, and Thomas stays on his feet, then gets chopped at the 20-yard line. He may get a first down or close to it. Looks like a yard short, but boy, the Bucknell offensive attack has been pretty much up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, really good running out of the pistol formation there by Tariq Thomas. He made the safety miss right in the hole and then got another 6-7 yards right there. That's a job well done by Tariq. He's been really good today. 2nd and 1. Thomas again with the carry. He'll take it to the outside. Got his face mask grabbed, so there'll be an extra 15 on this, but he'll take it up to the 32-yard line before being brought down to the field here by the Hoyas Bolden, but that'll be an extra 15. Or did they call a foul on Bucknell? Not sure what we're going to get. You know, if it's not a face mask, then it's a hold.
Eric Lewis, I think, said that it was a hold on Bucknell before the face mask. So that is huge. Instead of a first down, here's the replay if our monitor doesn't keep going out.
Yeah.
And there's the face mask for sure. And maybe Dara was holding there.
Yeah, I think it's going to go on Dara right there on Blomstrom right there. Cooper Blomstrom, the outstanding defensive end for Georgetown.
That'll actually be the first penalty of the game for Bucknell, but now it looks like back-to-back penalties to start this third quarter. And started the third quarter, other than the Richmond game where Bucknell scored late in the second quarter and early in the third, Bison offense just has struggled coming out of the gates.
Yeah, sometimes that happens, and you know, everybody looks for that answer, like what is it? Do we come out earlier and warm up earlier? But really more than anything, Doug, it's a mindset.
So now it's going to be first down and 20, or second down and 20, excuse me, all the way back at the 5, and this will be a handoff to Cadden, and Cadden's not going to gain anything. He'll get back to the 5-yard line. That is it, as he is dragged down there by the defense of the Hoyas. Looks like getting in there was the big linebacker Rufo out of Honolulu.
Yeah, boy, how good is Giancarlo Rufo now? He's one of the best in the business, a lot like Biaggiarelli, one of the top inside backers in the league. He is a tackling machine, Doug, as we like to say. He's a monster. Halloween's right on deck. He is a monster.
Patriot League Defensive Player of the Week. Here comes the inside handoff, and Catton will gain up to the 9, but it'll be a punt upcoming for Bucknell, and the punts weren't that crisp in the first half by Matt Shearer, the co-captain, and of course Rufo also is a co-captain for the Hoyas. We mentioned the Patriot League Defensive Player of the Week back on September the 8th. Only a 32.3-yard average for Shearer on 3 punts. This will be his 4th punt, so Mahasan is standing at the 47 of Bucknell.
He needs a big one right here. This is the time where you want to pull one out and really thump one.
And here comes pressure, and Shearer gets a high hanging kick. Mahasan's going to be forced to call for a fair catch for a couple of reasons. Number 1, great kick by Shearer, a lot of hang time. Number 2, 10 guys were massed at the line, and they were coming.
Yeah, that's a great combination of the kick, which was deep and high, and then the coverage lanes got going, because really anytime, Doug, that you try to come block a kick, you don't have blockers for the coverage lane, so to speak. So good fair catch right there. Generally, when you're trying to block a kick, you tell your return guy, unless you've got a lot of distance, take the fair catch.
So this drive will start at the 44-yard line, and the Hoyas in a 14-14 game did exactly what Coach Scarlotta wanted. Stop Bucknell on its initial drive of the half. Thomas will have Hart back there. He'll go play action. Thomas will take off and run, and he's going to get helped out of bounds by Bucknell. Zach Corna, who had missed a handful of games with an injury, will push him out after a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, good job by Corner right there. And really, the edge defense right there just strung that play out. Thomas could not turn the corner on the quarterback zone read right there. So good defense, good edge defense, leverage defense. As we talked about, that's something that has plagued Bucknell recently here on defense.
So pick up a 2, 2nd and 8. Now Thomas will go with the pass. He'll dump it out, and Mahasan almost made a man miss, but Zachary Corna, the freshman out of Columbus, Ohio area, brings him down short of the first down. They'll spot him at the 49 of Bucknell.
Boy, Zach was hanging on like he had it, like he was roping a calf right there. He was hanging on, but he did get him down, and a good play by Corna there. Just a little bit of a naked right there. Mahasan was out in the flat, so good tackle in the open field.
3rd down. Hoyas 2 of 6 in the first half. They'll easily get it this time as Kibble will break a tackle, breaks another, and he'll take it to the 31. And that was what Bucknell's defense was doing in the first quarter, missing tackles.
Yeah, it's just so difficult when you go free access on the short side. We talked about Rob Spence moving Kibble around. He puts him on the short side right there. Then he makes a couple guys miss. You almost have to roll up and play more like we'd say a cover 2 defense on him. You just can't give him space. He's just too good.
And let's see if Hart stays out there. Wouldn't be surprised to see Hart get this carry this time. Has his left ankle heavily taped. Thomas will go play action to Hart. Has all day. Looks Steve, man, wide open, and it's going to be touchdown Hoyas. As that time Whitmore was beaten by Mahasan, who will get his first touchdown pass reception this year, the sophomore out of California. And Georgetown couldn't have scripted a better start to this 3rd quarter.
And this is just a hard ball play action. Post over the top of a dig route, what we call pin. That's posting in. And he just fires a strike. This is a really dandy throw over the top of the defense, right on the money. Notice, Doug, he led him away from the defense. That's quarterbacking 101 right there. When you have space on the backside of the post throw, lead him across the field. That's really well done by the quarterback.
And Anderson easily gets the point after. So a 4-play drive for the Hoyas, and it took some 56 yards on those plays. And of course, the touchdown strike, the first pass for a TD today for Des Thomas, the second. And now it's 21-14 Hoyas. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN.
Kids grow up fast, but with the money you earn from your PenFed checking and savings accounts, you can be there to support them through every stage of life.
I got it.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
The Patriot League on ESPN is on Instagram. Championship moments, amazing highlights, behind-the-scenes coverage, and features on the best and brightest student athletes in the NCAA. Follow us at Patriot League today.
The Patriot League is dedicated to the development of the student athlete through excellence in athletic competition, challenging academics, personal growth, and contributions within their communities. The Patriot League places among the NCAA leaders in graduation rates annually, with graduates moving on to serve in all facets of society by using their talents and voices for positive change. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League.
At PenFed Credit Union, we help our members make the most of their personal finances so they can make the most of their dreams.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
Back once again as the Clouds have made their way into central Pennsylvania, and the Hoyas certainly are shining bright with that drive of 4 plays, 56 yards, and that first touchdown pass of this game for Des Thomas, the second entering today's game. He had thrown 4 TD passes. This is Anderson. He will boot it. I mean, they are booting it deep to Cadden, and Cadden will call for the fair catch this time instead of trying to come out. So they were not scared to kick it to Cadden.
No, and one thing Anderson done, he's not only kicked it to the goal stripe, he's kicked it high with a lot of hang time. That allows your coverage to get down there, and Georgetown's done a nice job of covering kicks outside of the initial punt that TJ Cadden brought back.
So Bucknell had the ball to start the third quarter, had to go 3 plays and a punt, but had a first down. Penalties ripping into that Bucknell drive.
The penalty was a killer. You had 2 of them, but one was the huge holding call right there. So the drive got stalled. Georgetown took advantage of it. Now we'll see if Bucknell can reload and counter punch.
Have a different running back in. Ty Stoffer, the transfer from Army West Point. Somebody went the wrong way. Dietrich is going to just throw it up for grabs, and he'll throw it out of bounds. Pretty heads-up play after he thought that the running back was going to go to his right side, but the running back went to his left side, so it was either Dietrich or Stoffer was messed up on that.
Yeah, again, miscommunication right there. Of course, it's the first we've seen Ty Stoffer. Don't want to say whose fault it was because we don't know, but certainly there was a mix-up in the backfield.
Do you like going deep to the back, the rotation for running backs?
Well, I mean, you have to be careful. I mean, Tariq's just been so hot, it would be hard for me to take him out too much, but here we go on the jet sweep.
And it worked in the first half, but not this half. Lampkins is thrown backwards that time. As coming up was Mose, who will bring him down for a loss back at the 21-yard line. So that went for a big yards in the first half.
Mose, the senior out of Euless, Texas, I mean, he just diagnosed the play, shot the gap, and then kabam, he just roped him up and threw him down.
That will be a loss to make it 3rd down and 14. Bucknell 4 of 9 on 3rd down conversions now. This is a danger time of this 3rd quarter, already giving up a touchdown to fall behind 21-14. Cadden now in the slot to the top of your screen, and here's another penalty on Bucknell. Had 0 penalties in the first half. What's going on in the second half?
Yeah, this just looked like a cadence thing right here where they're just out of sync between the cadence of Chris Dietrich and Johnny O snapping the football. Just things aren't in sync to start the second half. So, again, it's hard to just say 3rd down and 19 that you're just going to throw one up for grabs here. You've got to be smart protecting the football, and it's putting a lot of stress on Bucknell defensively because of field position.
So it will be 3rd down and long for the Bison here. Dietrich has pressure off the edges. He'll throw it short to Anderson, and Anderson interfered with actually before he got the ball, but he holds on to it anyway. No flag. And it will be 4th down upcoming for the Bison. I think may have been a little grabsy there for the defensive back that time. And they've had a lot of young defensive backs, as you mentioned. That was Michael Bonsu, only a sophomore out of Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I mean, they are playing a lot of young players on defense, and now they've got to like this. What they've done defensively, Coach Kevin Doherty making some adjustments. Their defense has come out here, aided by some penalties, but they've made some plays.
Mahasen with his feet at the 35 now of Georgetown. Shearer got a good punt last time. Let's see if he can get back-to-back. Well, this is short, but it's a hanging punt, and it forces Mahasen into a fair catch at the 37. But if Bucknell's defense can't slow down the offense of the Hoyas, it won't matter where the ball is placed. So Bucknell's D, as you said, a lot of pressure right now on Coach Bauer's squad.
Yeah, and the pressure starts by field position. They're going to start this drive, and really Georgetown has started most of their drives in good field position, and that puts a lot of pressure on you defensively. Coach Chris Bauer certainly telling his guys, we need to stop right here. As you said, this is danger zone.
And the one time where the starting position wasn't good was at the 2-yard line, and Bucknell forced a bad play. And here comes Savion Hart stumbling in the backfield, and he's going to do a good job just to get back to the line of scrimmage as Geter runs him down. Hart tries to go left, comes back right. And you got to wonder if his ankle's 100%.
Yeah, I don't think it is right there, and he's coming. It looks like he's coming out of the game right here, and he had to make a quick jump cut. That wasn't easy right there, but he did make Goheen miss to get back to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 10, Bucknell needs to stop. They've got to rally and find a way to get a stop here on this Georgetown offense.
Uribe is in. Thomas, by the way, has thrown 5 picks this year. Don't know if you'll see him throw one here. Yep, he's going to throw, but it'll be a safe pass. Whoa, it almost wasn't. It was to Mahasan, but if that would have been in a position where looked like Hoying might have been close to it, that could have been a pick 6.
And absolutely, that ball went off his hands and almost popped up in the air enough for Hoying to make that pick and go down the sideline. But this sets up just an absolutely huge 3rd and 10 for Bucknell on defense.
And Georgetown on offense will bring out Jaden Sumter, the sophomore, who also has had a few carries here in this game as well. So it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Hoyas at the 37 after forcing a punt. Thomas will look to pass. He has all day, throws it right at the ground, intending it for B-Stick, who's the only other guy besides Grimes and also Kibble to catch a pass here from Thomas, and that will be well short. Do you feel like Thomas threw that intending it to go that short, or do you think that the receiver is going to come back?
Well, I just think he just misfired, Doug. Sometimes you have a misfire, and he just didn't put the ball in the money right there. That was a long, big boy toss from Hashed as far sideline. It was pretty well covered, so had he put it on the money, it may have been a little bit of a problem for Georgetown.
It might have been 4th and 10. Here's left. Low snap, catches it off a bounce, has time. Will get a great kick that drives Cadden back to his 20. He has nowhere to go, so will make one man miss, but not a second. Great job that time by Cadden to make the first man miss, but Sutton was the second one there and brought him down. And that will bring us to immediate timeout. With timeout to score, Hoyas by 7. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN. Back once again here at Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium. Bucknell forced a 3-and-a punt for the Hoyas offense, and Bucknell's offense gets the ball back at the 20. And Thomas is not out there. Looks like Michael Cadden in the pistol. He'll get the carry, and he will, oh no, it's Stoffer, and he tried to make a cut, and he slipped on this field turf surface, gained a yard up to the 21.
Doug, that's a classic turf monster tackle right there. Ty tried to cut and really cut off probably his wrong foot right there, and then the turf got him, wasn't able to go anywhere. But we talked about this off air. Critical drive here for Bucknell. Probably going to have to open it up with Chris Dietrich and shoot the ball down the field.
2nd and 10. It'll be a handoff again to Stoffer. This time he stumbles but finds some room and will put his shoulder down and may have a first down. And there is a late flag in the backfield as well. Bucknell had 0 penalties in the first half. Eric Lewis.
Going to be a hold, Doug, and come back on the edge right here. Don't know if this is against Dara.
Dara getting his first opportunity to play, and the offensive side of the ball, he was a defensive lineman. And he got him up high, and that's easy for an official to throw that flag.
Yeah, that looked like that's on number 63 right there.
Asselton, the freshman.
Asselton, the young guy, just got him turned right there. And anytime that side judge can see those pads turn that easily and you get that big paw outside of the framework, you're going to get called.
Now they have Natoli at left guard here, but it's 2nd and 20 back at the 10. And here comes a run blitz, but Dietrich will pass. He pumps, but he didn't have anybody open. Now he's under pressure. Now he has a lot of room to run. He's going to take off and gets hit at about the 14-yard line. Good legal hit that time by Rufo. So he just hammers him with the shoulder. He's 3rd down and 13 for Bucknell.
Yeah, Rufo, one of maybe the heartbeat of this Georgetown team across the board. He is a leader. He is just a tough guy that makes a lot of plays, and that was a good firm tackle on Dietrich.
Dietrich slid feet first against Cornell on a 4th and short last week. He was not going to go feet first that time. 3rd and 13 for the Bison. 4 of 9 this game. 4 of 10 on 3rd down. Here's a pass, and it'll be complete to Cadden, well shy of the first down. So Bucknell will punt again as the defense for the Hoyas was right on that one. 3 straight punts to start this third.
It's been 3 straight 3 and outs, basically, outside the penalty. So it's been a chorus line offense for Bucknell, and they just can't get started right now. Coach Kevin Doherty and his defensive group has the wraps on Bucknell, and once again, special teams is going to have to hold up, and this defense for Bucknell, giving the ball to them probably in good field position, is going to have to make some plays.
Haven't seen Cesar Carrasco lately. I don't even know if he's out there. Here's another high hanging kick by Shearer, and a late fair catch called for by Mahassan. It'll be a 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line, and there's a penalty flag near midfield.
Should be a hold here, Doug, on Georgetown. Biagirelli just got absolutely hog-tied and thrown to the ground.
So this, after 3 penalties in the first half on the Hoyas, this will be the 2nd half. I think 5 penalties in that first half. Mr. Lewis getting a lot of airtime here today. And they called it on Bucknell, but I think they meant to call it on Georgetown there.
Yeah, the official there kind of got his GPS out of whack, so to speak. But this is against Georgetown. They're walking back. It was pretty obvious. And I'll give the official credit. He threw that flag for about 40 yards, it seemed like. So he pulled out his Dan Marino and let it ride. That was a long way to throw that flag, but pretty obvious in open space to see that.
This will start at the 21-yard line now. Let's see if Hart's back in there. Nope. Looks like he is out, and Uribe is back in to the right of Thomas, and Thomas will look to pass, throw it easily, caught by Kibble. This time, though, Bucknell does have some guys around him. He only get 8 yards on that one after initially Aaron Davis got him around the hips.
Yeah, and if you're Georgetown, you just keep going back to that because it's really a gift. It's easy 8 yards every time they want it on the short side of the field, and this is where Kibble's lined up again.
Have to wait and see, though, if somebody makes a break. Bucknell subbing, and I don't know if Georgetown did sub, so Bucknell may have to eat a timeout here. Nick Hoying lost his shoe, had to run off the field, so late subs, and Bucknell not only subbed for Hoying, but some others, and unfortunately Georgetown didn't sub, so Bucknell had to call a timeout.
And this is a critical loss of a timeout because if it's a close game and Bucknell doesn't have that extra timeout, that can factor into Georgetown's ability to run it out at the end of the game.
Yes, although if Georgetown snaps it and gets an 80-yard pass for a touchdown, that
Sure.
could have,
You know, it's
what you don't want to do is have a guy lose his shoe and then sub
right.
everybody.
It's a tough situation right there. You have to make an adjustment on the fly, so to speak, when somebody has that scenario right there. But boy, you sure don't want to see it come back to bite you at the end of the game.
How tough is it when Bucknell really didn't have anybody they could put in to back up on defense?
Well, you know, they have guys they can put in, but what's tough, Doug, when you're mixing and matching with so many guys, it might move one guy from one position to another, and it makes it hard on your defensive guys, subbing guys in and out on the fly like that when a shoe comes off.
2nd and 2. Now Grimes, the tight end, will move to the left side of the formation. Thomas gets the snap. Goes with the handoff to Uribe, a big hole initially, but then he's bottled up short of the first down, I believe, at the 30-yard line. Biagirelli was around there, and so was Jack and Sarah. I tell you, Jack and Sarah, playing in memory of his father who passed away, he's playing, like, as you say, like his hair is on fire.
Yeah, his hair is on fire. He's playing, you know, obviously motivated football, and he's playing for a higher cause, to be honest with you, Doug. He's honoring his dad, and he's playing a high level of defensive football.
And he changed his jersey when his pop passed away from 57 to what his dad used to wear, number 12.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's honoring him with the number, but also honoring him with the style of play.
3rd and 1 now for the Hoyas. And here comes a run by Thomas, and he's going to get the first down. Good run for the senior who came in for Lauder, the quarterback who was able to start the Hoyas season, and Thomas able to get the big first down. That's the first down here in a little bit of time for the Hoyas.
Yeah, they fake the jet sweep. The quarterback just follows it up inside right there and gets the, you know, a long one, maybe a short two, but he certainly converts the first down there, so the Georgetown drive stays alive.
Hoyas have 115 rushing yards. Bucknell now with 121. Here's Mahassan, play action fake to him. Here is Thomas throwing it up, man, wide open. It's going to be incomplete as Corn at the last second just got the ball, I think, bounce off the head or his helmet that time as the pass was intended for the backup tight end Carroll.
Boys, Zach Corner right there just got a piece of this ball right here. Great job of forced defense here by that's Sincera right there, just forcing the edge and making him get that ball out of his hands. And good defense by Corner right there at the end of that throw.
That will leave the Hoyas with a 2nd and 10. Georgetown on top by 7 with 4:30 remaining in this third period. Thomas going to go back to pass, throws a dart, man is there. This one going to be immediately dropped by Cormier. Cormier drops B-Stick, it looks like. Cormier's playing corner the last couple of games because of injuries. He's normally a safety. How different is that?
Tough transition. Although they say Drew loves playing corner, but when you're groomed as a safety and then you're asked to go out there, it is different. Let's give him credit for making that transition. Seemed pretty seamless, but it's still tough.
3rd and 6 now for Georgetown on 3rd down conversions, 4 of 9 here this afternoon. Back out there is Jaden Sumter. So we haven't seen Hart. 3rd and 6, play action by Thomas, has time, throws it short, and it may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage, and then a late flag as well. And we'll have to see what that's all about. Roughing the passer on Bucknell D.
I have to look at this one again right here. These are just some critical mistakes that Bucknell now is making on both sides. Let's look at it. Obviously hit him up high.
And he just put his hands on him, but
they're going to call helmet to helmet there, but you know, boy, Doug, sometimes I think it's just a matter of judgment right there. I mean, that's in the game of football, that's what you would call a love tap. I don't see that, but again, this day and age, they're protecting the quarterback at a high level, so the flag's going to come out. And that, again, keeps the drive alive.
Sure does. Moves the ball to the Bucknell 48. Here is Thomas with the handoff. And this time a great stick by Nick Hoying, who had 11 tackles last week against Cornell. And he will drop the running back Sumter that time for a gain of 2, maybe 3.
You know, Doug, of recent weeks, we've seen the Nick Hoying of old. It looks like he's starting to get healthy. He's playing faster. You can just tell he looks more in sync and just feels so much better from a health standpoint. He's really been playing well.
He's sure has. Pickup of 2, 2nd and 8 for Georgetown. Thomas looks to pass this time, has a pocket. Now he's going to dance. Now he's going to throw. Wobbly pass. It's up for grabs, and it'll be incomplete. Tending it there in the middle of the field for the backup, Max McCormick, third string tight end. Just couldn't come away. There were 3 defensive players there. That could have easily been pick 6 this year.
Doug, there's a rule in quarterback play. Never throw that late over the middle, and Des Thomas II was late on that throw, and 3 guys converged on it. Looked like a team meeting at the ball right there. Georgetown very fortunate that ball wasn't picked.
So it's 3rd and 8 now for Georgetown. Converted that last 3rd down via a penalty. So let's see what the blue-shirted Bucknell defense does this time with 2 wideouts to the bottom of your screen. Thomas looks to the top. Here's a blitz, and Thomas will go down for a 5th time. Nick Hoy digs him into the ground.
You know, Doug, every time we see Bucknell blitz, which isn't often by Chris Bowers, they have success with pressure. You saw it right there. They absolutely confused Georgetown's front, and there he comes. Scott clean through the B-gap. B-gap, nothing Thomas can do. Got to eat it and just punt the football away. This Bucknell defense has made some stops. Their offense needs to get moving.
Or the special teams, and Cadden certainly can do that. And Bucknell has blocked a kick this year. 2 weeks ago at Lafayette for a touchdown pickup by Milligan. 4th and 15, low snap, left under pressure, just gets it away. Takes a huge bounce for Georgetown, though. And boy, in terms of field position, the Hoyas have owned that in this game. That will be all the way to the 15-yard line, and that really restricts the play calling of Drew Fulmer with a young quarterback. We'll take a break. Bucknell gets it back, trailing by 7 to the Georgetown Hoyas. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN.
The Patriot League is dedicated to the development of the student athlete through excellence in athletic competition, challenging academics, personal growth, and contributions within their communities. The Patriot League places among the NCAA leaders in graduation rates annually, with graduates moving on to serve in all facets of society by using their talents and voices for positive change. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League.
PenFed Credit Union, we help our members make the most of their personal finances so they can make the most of their dreams.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room. A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are strong.
We are Georgetown.
At Bucknell University, you can do more. Explore beyond the classroom and beyond our solar system. Test the waters in the lab and on the river. Predict the next market moves and move audiences. Score points and scientific breakthroughs. When you unite your passions, you break through old ways of thinking. You tell a new story that's never been told before because it's yours. Do more at Bucknell University.
Boy, Bucknell almost got a punt block last time, Charlie.
Boy, Owen Garwood was right there. I certainly thought he had a chance, but he didn't make the play on the punt there. So now Bucknell is backed up again.
Be at the 15. Here is pressure, and Dietrich gets it out, but immediately a form tackle on Lampkins, and there is a flag in the Bucknell backfield. Have to see what this one is. Got to pass. Roughing the passer against Bucknell before. Now this one on Georgetown.
Yeah, this one flips on the other side now. So, again, staying with that theme, they're going to protect the quarterback in this day and age right here. Used to be a day when you could unload on the quarterback, but anytime you hit high around that helmet, you're going to generally get flagged.
Well, the people at home are seeing it a lot better than we are. Charlie, right. Our monitor keeps going out. But right. We assure you, you probably saw it at home. Must have been a foul and proper call, but we can't assess that.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy call right there. He's scot-free on the quarterback, Chris Dietrich, and just they're not going to miss that because they're going to be extra sensitive to protecting the quarterback.
That's only the 9th first down of this game for Bucknell, and the first this half, and it's via a penalty. So it'll be a handoff to Stauffer. And again, we haven't seen Thomas since that first drive of the second half. And Stauffer will carry it for 4 up to the 20-34.
Yeah, as hot as Tariq has been running the football, I mean, he had a fantastic first half of football, but we haven't seen him a whole lot. We don't know if he's dinged up or nicked up, but certainly right now it's the Ty Stauffer show.
Averaging almost 9 yards per carry was Thomas. Pick up a 4. Here's a pass play. It's deflected, and it's incomplete. It was deflected at the line of scrimmage, and Cadden, the intended target, couldn't hold on to it at the 44, so it'll be 3rd and 6.
Yeah, it's an RPO right there. Long ride. He pulls it out and tries to hit the inside slot receiver, Cadden, on what looked to be a slant route. And sometimes on those RPOs, Doug, because of it's a run-pass option, it's set up to run the football, and the protection not quite as good, and the hands can get in the face.
Down to 97 ticks left in this third quarter, and Bucknell looking for a big third down conversion. The Bison only 4 of 11 on third downs. And here comes all-out pressure. Dietrich stands, fires, man is there. It's going to be dropped by Milligan at the 30-yard line. You don't see him drop very many. Cadden, of course, doesn't drop very many, but both of them have dropped passes today.
Yeah, let's get a look at this on the replay. If we can get a clean look, Milligan had a step. Dietrich puts the ball on the money. I'm just wondering, did Georgetown get a hand on this at the end?
Yes, I think he did.
Looked like number 2 right there did get, and he comes up holding his hamstring just a little bit.
Well, it may have actually, I don't think it was Briggs. I think it was Chris Martin who was the inside defender.
Right. Yeah, somebody looked like they got a hand on it that just disrupted Sam just a little bit.
4th and 6, and Shearer has certainly come up big as the punter. Forced 3 straight fair catches by Mahassan, as Milligan goes, as the phrase says, head over heels. But Hoyas will get it back, nursing that 7-point lead that Georgetown has had since the first drive for Georgetown of this third quarter. Bucknell needs a turnover, but Georgetown needs a big play. And right now, Georgetown lost 2 offensive linemen, we noticed, late in the second quarter. We haven't seen Hart much this half, but Hart's back out there.
Hart is back out there, and you can see that their running game does suffer. Of course, they've lost a couple guys up front, have gotten injured today, but boy, Savion Hart is a difference maker running the football.
Certainly is. He has over 100 yards, well, 100 exactly, and he will not get the carry this time. Instead, it'll be a pass out to B-Stick, and immediately Whitmore will drop him at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, nice break on the ball by Takai Whitmore, the junior from Boston, Massachusetts, right there. Nice break, and knocked him out of bounds. 5-yard gain right there. So, again, Georgetown stays in that 50-50 where they can stay ahead of the sticks, open up, run, and pass.
I think I meant to say it was Sutton who on that catch. Pick up a 5, 2nd and 5. Thomas here today has thrown for about 100 yards. Here's a big hole for Hart. He'll go. There's a big hold. No flag. Wow. Hoying is asking for a flag that Corna got. And now Geeter is injured as Hart will take it for a first down run. And I don't know how, as an official, you could miss that. Literally, the jersey was being ripped off of him.
Just too easy to see right there, Doug. I mean, it's easy for us to see. We're up here. We have a different vantage point. But the side judge is right there, and that's always my beef with officials is, like, what are you looking at? What, where are your eyes? No
Number
different than a quarterback right here. You can see it. There's one on Hoying.
Yeah.
There's 2 on 37 right there. And listen, I mean, you have to call the game the way you see it, and that's pretty obvious. 2 holds right there. So if I'm grading the officials, I'm grading them down right there, and they won't let me do that. I'd like to, because, that's just part of the game. The officials got to get their job right, too.
And, if it's on the other side of the field, a lot of times they'll throw a flag on that, and I say it's not affecting. In fact, there was a flag thrown on Bucknell at Georgetown last year on a touchdown, and it didn't affect the play. Both holds affected the play.
Yeah, and there is some thought, what is the effect on the play?
And
Absolutely.
this affects Bucknell.
Absolutely, and this, of course, with Deuce Skeeter going out, he's had an outstanding year on defense. So, again, that parade of DBs that Chris Bowers has had to deal with. Deuce Skeeter's been dealing with that lower leg injury right there, and they're going to miss him because he is their second leading tackler, if I'm not mistaken, coming into this game. He's really had a nice year.
The junior out of Ashford, Virginia, 49 tackles, 3 for loss, and a sack entering, and he has had a very good first 3 quarters so far for the Bison D. But that run gives the Hoyas a first down at the 31, leading it by 7 here with 50 ticks left in the third.
Yeah, and again, with Bucknell not being able to get going offensively here, time is going to soon become part of this football game. It's going to become critical here. So Bucknell's got to try to find a way to get stops, and their offense has to get going because their offense has been in reverse here in the second half.
So 1st and 10 for the Hoyas at the 31. Hart gets the carry. He will burst up the middle and gain 4 up to the 40-yard line. 35. I'll get it straight. Sorry about that. But he was just on initial burst. Looks like he doesn't have much of an ankle issue now.
No, it doesn't. He looked good right there, and I think it's more that side-to-side movement that's giving him problem as opposed to straight-ahead movement, and that's usually the case when you have an ankle injury.
And it looks like the Hoyas will let this clock run out in the 3rd quarter, so we'll switch ends of the field. It'll be 2nd and 6 for Georgetown when we resume play here from Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium. The Hoyas lead this one by 7 going into the 4th, and that's typically when these games get the tightest, in that 4th quarter. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN. Start of the 4th quarter here in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. As we get prepared for this 4th quarter, it'll be a 2nd and 6 for the Hoyas, leading by 7. Quick pitch out here to Hart. Hart's going to get the first down. Nope, he's going to be stopped just a little short by Nick Hoying, who's back after losing his shoe. Going to be 3rd and 1 for this Hoyas team, and Hoying playing another fine game.
Boy, Doug, that was a superb open field tackle right there to stop the running back, Savion Hart, short of the first down because they got the edge once again on the quick pitch with ease, and he burst from his linebacker nickelback spot and with a firm tackle. And now Bucknell, because each drive, every time you get a first down, that's another 2 or 3 minutes. They're going to have to get another stop, a big stop.
Got two tight ends in on a 3rd and 1 handoff to Hart. He dances, and he's going to be dragged down at the line of scrimmage. Once again, the Bucknell D, just like late last year, able to come up big on 3rd and 4th and shorts.
Yeah, you see the fist go up right there, so you got to believe this is a punting situation, because if you're Coach Scarlotta, you've seen how well your defense has played. Why give Bucknell a short field? Make them drive it the length of the field. Let your defense do what they've been doing.
This is going to be another punt for Lev, his 6th today. 7th, excuse me. He's averaged 39. And Cadden had that big punt return on Bucknell's initial punt return opportunity. Let's see what he does this time. It'll be a wobbly kick that Cadden's going to call for a fair catch. He bobbled the ball, and Georgetown has it at the 25-yard line. Bucknell has made uncharacteristic mistakes, and it may have been, well, I'm not sure who it was. They're congratulating down there Joey Morales, but I'm not sure if it was him. But Cadden just bobbled the ball, and it is going to be number 21 there, Joel Morales.
So, Doug, there's two things here. You see the eye level of TJ Cadden drop to look at coverage because he wanted to return that ball. More so, he let the ball get up in his pads. Having coached punt returners for a long time, you never want the ball to get in on your shoulder pads, and that's exactly what happened to TJ Cadden.
First mistake of the game for either team. Puts the ball at the 25, and going for the strike is Thomas. He's under duress. He's taking off and running. He's going to throw on the move. Man, wide open. It's going to be incomplete as Allen steps in front of the intended receiver and just shields it away from Mahassan. So Allen made up ground at the last second.
Boy, England Allen, he knew exactly what was going on because he did not plaster his man, and he went after the open receiver. Holy smokes, he was wide open, and England Allen just at the last second got his hands up and knocked that away.
And he had to make up a lot of ground there. And, of course, in college play, you can face guard all you want. You don't have to turn your head toward it. You just can't interfere.
If that's the NFL, Doug, that is a easy call.
Second down, probably be a carry this time here, and it will be a big hole off the left side, but bouncing it inside is in Uribe, and he's going to take it for 6 yards inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line.
So right now, Doug, as this game is unfolding, 3 points would be monumental here for Georgetown. Now, obviously, Bucknell wants to stop because they need to hold them to that. But if you're Georgetown, you know 3 points with the way your defense has been playing is a 2-score game.
3rd down and 3 now for Georgetown. Hoyas have converted on 4 3rd down opportunities out of 11 attempts. Empty set. With 2 wideouts stacked at the bottom of your screen. Could be a quarterback draw. No, they'll send Hart across. He'll get the carry. He catches the corner, bounce it outside, and he's going to be tackled for a loss by Aaron Davis, making his first appearance in about 5 games.
Yeah, we haven't seen Aaron Davis. He's, had a great year last year. He's been nicked up a little bit this year. Really nice play. Watch it. Just a jet sweep. And with a read by the quarterback. Great stop right there to bring up a 3rd down and 2, and now force that field goal attempt by Georgetown. If you're Bucknell special teams coach Murdoch, boy, you need a big play right here. Find a way to get a block or to force a miss.
Anderson's 4 of 9. This is going to be a 35-yard kick. He's not made too many in the 30-yard range. The left footer puts the kick up this time, though, and it does go through. So the punt muff by Cadden turns to points for Georgetown, and we have a media timeout. 10-point lead for the Hoyas. Still 12 minutes remaining here in Lewisburg. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN.
The Patriot League is dedicated to the development of the student athlete through excellence in athletic competition, challenging academics, personal growth, and contributions within their communities. The Patriot League places among the NCAA leaders in graduation rates annually, with graduates moving on to serve in all facets of society by using their talents and voices for positive change. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League.
PenFed Credit Union, we help our members make the most of their personal finances so they can make the most of their dreams.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field. A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room. A community rooted in Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together, we are strong.
We are Georgetown.
At Bucknell University, you can do more. Explore beyond the classroom and beyond our solar system. Test the waters in the lab and on the river. Predict the next market moves and move audiences. Score points and scientific breakthroughs. When you unite your passions, you break through old ways of thinking. You tell a new story that's never been told before because it's yours. Do more at Bucknell University.
The Cadden brothers, Michael at the bottom of your screen, TJ at the top of your screen, getting set to try and return this kick here. Now, the Hoyas Anderson has been kicking it to TJ Cadden. Are they playing with fire?
Well, they could be, but one thing that Anderson has done, he's done a great job of not only kicking it deep, but he's kicked it high.
He gets a high kick this time, and Cadden's going to have to call for a fair catch here as he muffed that punt. And I tell you, some uncharacteristic situations for Bucknell. But the big thing here this half, particularly the last 10 minutes, is that Bucknell has been penalized so many times. 7 for 39, or 5 for 46 yards, and I tell you, all of them have been crucial.
Well, you've had penalties that have really put them behind the sticks. Field position's been very poor. They haven't really been able to get in a great rhythm. And, at some point here, you're going to have to see Chris Dietrich off play action, open this thing up, and start shooting the ball down the field because time is going to really work against Bucknell.
Dietrich, 9 of 18, 96 yards. The fourth quarter has been his best quarter here in these first two starts. We'll see what the fourth quarter holds here. It'll be a play-action pass. Dietrich under pressure, throws it man wide open down the far sideline. It's going to be Michael Cadden. It's a foot race to the 30, to the 25. It'll be wrapped up on a great play. Everything going right. Coming back left was Dietrich Cadden on the wheel route.
Yeah, Doug, let's talk about this. This is bootleg half roll right with a throwback off the wheel route, off the fake to the running back. So it's a play everybody loves to do. You kind of hold it for a surprise, so to speak, and they caught Georgetown right there. And Cadden converted.
At the 26, here's Cadden on the run, and he'll take it for 5 yards down to the 20-yard line, maybe 6 yards there for the Georgetown D, and it looks like that was probably Rufo who brought him down.
Yeah, and this is the first we've seen Tariq Thomas in the game now in quite some time, so he inserts back in there. So if you're Bucknell, you want to keep this rhythm going, this tempo going on, maybe not breakneck speed, but you want to get up and play fast because right now they got Georgetown on the run just a little bit.
Two wideouts to the top of your screen. One, Gary singly covered. He was unable to haul in a touchdown from Ralph Rucker last year at Georgetown. And Dietrich looks that way. He's open in the end zone. It's going to be tipped and incomplete as Gary had the ball batted up in the air that time by the defensive back Lloyd for this Hoya team. It will be 2nd and 4. Good time to go for that pass.
Yeah, weak safety blitz. He recognizes that. He knows he's got one-on-one press coverage outside. I would have liked to seen Chris Dietrich get that ball out of his hands just a little bit quicker, Doug, with a little bit more height. Give Gary a chance to high point the football because he had the defensive back beat.
Now, this is where Milligan comes up big. Now he's at the bottom of your screen.
Absolutely. So they're banking. Will they see that same look? Don't think so with Sam over there.
3rd and 4. Thomas now seeing that here comes pressure. Dietrich going to throw. Man is open. It's going to be touchdown, Bucknell! Cadden pulls it away from the defense.
Well, you called it off there, Doug. You said TJ Cadden would make up for that muff. He absolutely did, as did Michael Cadden. So somebody got in the ear of the Caddens and said, hey, we need to get going, and they did. And we know these guys are good football players, a little bit underthrown, but TD Cadden, as you like to call him, comes up big again.
I also said, how often do you see when a team gets a lead, the other team comes back and scores immediately?
Sometimes you relax just a little bit thinking, hey, we've got this one. Exactly what happened, Doug, what you said. Bucknell said, not so fast, my friend.
And so Bucknell comes down with a quick 7, and the Bison now pull within 3 of the Georgetown Hoyas. We have 10:33 remaining in an exciting fourth quarter. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN. Once again here at Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium, Bucknell pulls within 3. Now third straight start for Chris Dietrich. For Ralph Rucker, the fourth. He has 2 touchdown passes in each of those games.
Yeah, Chris Dietrich has shown certainly a lot of potential and skill. He has everything you want at the quarterback position, but there are some ups and downs, ebbs and flows, but that was a huge drive for Bucknell.
Another sky kick, and this time no fair catch, and so Carroll, the backup tight end, will gain an extra 5 yards, get it up to the 30-yard line here for the Hoyas.
Yeah, great tackle by Ty Stauffer, the Danville product, right down the road. He has been a menace on special teams. He's been really good. He's exactly what you want, covering kicks. He can run. He's used to playing defense in high school, so really good firm tackle right there.
So we see that Savion Hart has rushed here today for 114 yards, and Hart's out there. You expect a heavy dose of
You
Savion.
would think this would be Savion Hart, but at the same time, if you're Rob Spence, and he knows, he's been down this road, knows that Bucknell's going to load the box, so he's got to be prepared to make some throws also.
Only 3 down linemen right now for the Bison. 4 linebackers, though, about 5 yards off. And here's Thomas with a quick throw. Going to be caught. And Bucknell doing a better job tackling here as Cormier will bring down the receiver over in that far side. And that was B-stick that time.
Yeah, and that short side pass, Doug, kind of that RPO to the short side hitch route, stop route, if you want to call it that, for about 8 yards. Has just been there all day. They have not been able to stop that. Kibble's turned it into some bigger gains because he's broken the tackle.
Pick up, as Charlie mentioned, of 8 yards, 2nd and 2 for the Hoyas, wanting to eat up as much of this fourth quarter clock as possible. So 2nd and 2, and Thomas with the play clock now at 7. Gets a low snap, hands off to Hart, gets hit behind the line, bounce it outside, and Bucknell is going to stop him, I think, short of the first down, and Sam Milligan is back out there on defense for the Bison.
I think he is short, Doug, by about 1 yard. He really had nowhere to go. He had nothing. He did a good job of at least getting that back to the line of scrimmage, so it is going to set up that 3rd and 1. And if you're Rob Spence, veteran OC who saw the last 3rd and 1 go nowhere, you just have to be leery now. He may have a trick up his sleeve here.
Well, and I would think you'd want to have Thomas roll out of the pocket and give him a run-pass option.
Yeah, he could. That's certainly a great option right there. Or you just say, we got faith in our offensive line, and we're going to go get this thing.
Bucknell has 4 defensive linemen amassed at the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 1. Here's a trap play, and the running back's going to be hit short by Hoying. A great job stopping Thomas by Sirk and also Hoying.
Boy, I tell you what, Hoying has been so good today, and that's exactly what we saw all last year. Just consistency. You see Goheen in there, but boy, it's Hoying with the sure tackle. And now, again, this sets up another punt situation. If you're Bucknell, you got to be sharp here. You don't want to be all sides. You don't want to give Georgetown a free 5.
And you don't want to muff the punt like Cadden did last time.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen. That's an unusual mistake by T.J. Cadden.
Bucknell will set up the return, so the kick. And Cadden calls for a fair catch at the 27. We'll take a media timeout. So Bucknell gets it back down a field goal with 8:16 remaining. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN. Gets the ball back at the 27 as the Bison trail with 8:16 remaining to Georgetown by 3 points here. Dietrich, who has thrown for over 160 yards and 2 scores, goes with a little reverse here. Here comes Cadden, gets a nice block on the corner, takes it past the first down, then gets blasted out of bounds up the field at the 45-yard line. So we've seen the reverse a couple of times here, Charlie.
And the reverse is all predicated on timing. When do you pull it out? And the best play callers know when to do it. And that's exactly what Drew Fulmer did here. And you see T.J. Cadden just burst up the sideline, well blocked, well executed play.
Knocked out of bounds at the 45. This will be a handoff, and Thomas is dropped behind the line. Nobody blocked the big guy that time. Karamonko, the senior out of Raleigh, North Carolina, lost back to the 42.
Well, there's an old saying, Doug, in football that linebackers make tackles, up front guys cause fumbles, and that was almost the case right there because he hit the mesh point of that reach and ride right as it was going. So, that's when you'd like to see him pull if they had a read on there.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Pass wide open is Bohms-Kiccirini, grabs it, runs over a man at the 50 and dives into Georgetown territory. It'll be 3rd and 3 for Bucknell at the 48.
Good job there by Jack, recognizing he caught the ball wide open and flat. Just get vertical, get what you can, get under your pads. He sets up a 3rd and 3 and probably 2 down territory here for Bucknell. You guys got to believe if it stays in this 3rd and 3 range, this is 2 downs to get 3 yards.
Bucknell down a field goal. Matt Shear missed a field goal on Bucknell's first drive of the game after a great punt return by TJ Cadden. 3rd and 3 here at the 48 of Georgetown. Dietrich out of the shotgun, going to get hit as he throws. It's going to be caught by Milligan for a first down. What an incredible catch by Milligan, who leads the Patriot League and is 4th in the FCS at receiving yards, has 3 100-yard games, but believe it or not, that's his first catch here today.
Yeah, this is a nice job, and what a great opportunity here by Chris Dietrich. Growth opportunity, man. He gets absolutely leveled as he delivers that ball and hits a strike right on the outside pad of Sam Milligan for a big first down.
Isn't that one of the things that makes Ralph Rucker the 4th the best? He stands in the pocket.
Ralph is, man, he's like a totem pole in that pocket. You got to be great in the phone booth, as we like to say.
Oh, nice play action by Dietrich. He'll throw it deep, man. Is there? It's Cadden. He'll come up with another big catch. He has it inside the Hoyas 30 at the 29.
Yeah, we're going to get a late flag here now. This is either going to be roughing again or a hold.
That's big by Eric Lewis, the referee. Bucknell is moving forward, thinking it's a roughing the passer, and it is. Wow. We wondered, and you and I were talking during the break, did Coach Doherty want to start bringing some heat? And I think the Georgetown defensive coordinator has here.
Yeah, and here you go. You see it right here. Boom. Yeah, absolutely. That's an easy call and a big.
And that was much more pressure than what Kinnear got called for earlier in the 3rd quarter against Thomas.
Yeah, and that's just a huge, huge mistake there by Bangia Calvo right there. That's not good football, and certainly the defensive staff and the head football coach Rob Scarlato are not going to be happy about that, because you just got to be smarter than that. That was well past 2 steps and a hit to the head.
Hoyas had 46 penalties for 445 yards coming in. That's their 7th. Dietrich to pass on 1st and 10. He breaks a tackle. Now he's going to throw it. Man, wide open, and a great adjustment on the ball for 5 yards by Nate Anderson. His first catch today, grabs it at the 10.
Boy, this is a great job by Chris Dietrich. 2 things. He avoids the rush. He keeps his eyes downfield on the scramble. Now, if he delivers that ball on the money to Nate Anderson, he's inside the 5-yard line, and he might score.
As it is, it's going to be a 2nd down and 5 for Bucknell, trailing it by 3 with 5.5 minutes, 4th quarter. This is how these games have gone between the Hoyas and the Bison. Here comes a blitz off the corner. Here comes Dietrich to throw. It's going to be caught by Anderson. Stiff arms a man, and he'll hog collar him. It will be a first down, but it'll be 1st and goal inside the 5 on a great move by Anderson, who tried to stiff arm him free.
So this is an RPO. And he sees the weak pressure come and throws the field side hitch route on the money. Watch it right here. Gets the ball out of his hands. Nate Anderson knows exactly what he needs to get. Not only gets the first down, wasn't far away from scoring a touchdown.
Move the ball to the 4, where it'll be 1st and goal Bison. Bucknell trying to eat some clock here, but obviously needing to score down 3 points. Back to the pistol with Cadden behind Dietrich. Now a man in motion is the tight end, Bohm Schiccherini. It will be a handoff, Cadden, and Cadden gets hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. He'll lose the 2 yards to the 6.
Yeah, and that just was, just a blown assignment up front, because they just let the defensive tackle just blow right across to the gap right there. Even though Chris Dietrich is not the runner Ralph Rucker is, he can still reach and ride. He could read this, pull the ball, and still take that big body and get in the end zone. You want to be very, very smart with this football, Doug, right here.
Certainly. Down by 3. You're in field goal range at the 5-yard line. It's 2nd and goal. Here comes another blitz, maybe. Nope, Georgetown going to play it safe. Dietrich has time. Now he's under pressure, and he's going to be dropped for a 5-yard loss. Great job coming up that time. I think getting the credit that time is going to be Frangione again. That would be his 2nd sack. Now it's 3rd and goal at the 10.
So now if you're Bucknell, just eat the clock up right here. Use every bit of it. You want your 3rd and 10. You're not going to put the ball in peril. With the young quarterback, Chris Dietrich, once you look once and a second look, you don't have time to get to your 3rd option in the red zone. Throw it away. Don't take the sack.
Bucknell in the red zone this year, 21 of 31 on touchdowns. This is 3rd and goal at the 10. Here's an all-out blitz. It's picked up. Dietrich throws in the end zone. That's going to be caught! And they say it's out of bounds by Milligan. Wow, this may initiate a review here. Milligan saying he had it with his foot inside. He's asking for a review. And I would think the officials will automatically review this.
This will be an automatic review here, Doug. And good job by Dietrich, because the The blitz comes uncovered. Now, obviously, they're not going to, obviously, there's nothing to review here is what they're saying, so they're moving on.
Well, our monitor keeps going out, so we can't tell. But now they are going to review it.
Boy.
Wow. He did get his right toe in.
He sure
and
did.
He had possession.
He sure did.
That is a touchdown.
Sure looked it.
Our monitor just came alive to see that. Now it's out again.
Our monitor's been a little finicky, like a bad cousin, right?
Yes.
It just hasn't been very cooperative today.
I'm glad you didn't say like a in-law.
No, I didn't say like a mother-in-law. I know better than that.
Hey, by the way, our crew today has been fantastic. That would include our director, Terry Burke, also our coordinating producer, Adam Contini, graphics replay coordinator, Nick Fewdale. As we watch the replay here, camera operators, Travis Fatchline, Dave Bodmer, and that shot a moment ago was by Will Burke.
But this is going to come down, Doug, to whether he had possession of the football, because here it is.
Well, he had possession. There's no doubt in my mind on that one.
If we can hold the screen from not blacking out on us, come on now, cooperate with us.
His right toe is in the field. Now, of course, our monitor goes out.
Let's see. Come on.
We can't. Our monitor is gone.
Yeah, our monitor just... Here it is. Well, we're going to miss that part right there. So we know that in the booth down the way that they're not having glitches.
There, it's still, our monitor is on.
So the
toe down, foot, hand, balls in the hand.
Sure looked it. We're going to get confirmation.
This is going to be a touchdown, Charlie. Now, they have to change the play. Wow, that was a miss.
Okay, so what they're saying is basically they didn't feel like he had possession of the football. Now, we think he did, but our angle, maybe not as good as theirs, I don't know that, but it certainly looked like Sam had possession of that football.
Well, the officials also had a good angle on the holds that weren't called.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, 17-yard line. It's a 27-yard kick by Matt Shear, who missed a 35-yarder earlier. This would tie the game up. Snap is down. Hold is down, kick is up, and it is good. And we are tied at 24 on a 9-play drive by the Bison. This drive started at the 22.
Yeah, here we go, Doug. Buckle up, my friend, because when these two teams get together, it just gets, as I said earlier, it gets weird. And Halloween's around the corner, so maybe it gets that much weirder.
You're right. So Matt Shearer missed that earlier field goal. He makes amends there with that make from 27 yards out. Now, if you're Coach Scarlata and the offensive staff, Coach Spence, et cetera, for Georgetown, you've been running the ball a lot here today as the Hoyas have 133 rushing yards, Bucknell 139. Do you put the ball in the hands of Thomas to pass it?
Oh, you have to. I mean, you don't have to do it all the time because you've got 3:02, you've got your timeouts. You just have to be smart. This is where, Doug, in my opinion, a veteran offensive coordinator like Rob Spence comes into play because been there, done that. You know, he's been down this road before. So you have to find that balance between being aggressive, being conservative with the right play calls in this 4-minute offense, because what you don't want to do is give Bucknell a chance to win this game at the buzzer with a field goal.
Bucknell, of course, won here 2 times ago at Christie, lost last time these two teams met at Christie in double overtime. That was like 50-47. Here comes a sky kick again by Garanton, and a fair catch this time called by Carroll because he was inside the 25. Figured he may as well.
Right.
And now we'll put the ball at the 25.
Yeah, you don't want the big guy handling the ball too much like he did that last time. Just fair catch it, hand it over to our offense. Let's go. If you're Rob Spence, Coach Scarlata, what you want here is a 1-possession game for your team, Georgetown, and you're either going to win it or we're going to overtime. That's exactly what they want here. If you're on the other side of it, Coach Cicchini, he's got to kind of monitor how this unfolds. He's still got timeouts plus the 2-minute warning because he wants the ball back.
All 3 timeouts for Georgetown. Hoyas, by the way, led by 10 points, 24-14 at the 11:56 mark of this period. Here comes a pass by Thomas, caught by Kibble, and Cormier grabs him immediately. Only a 5-yard gain. Drew Cormier is starting to become a better cornerback.
Yeah, Drew Cormier. Now, he's seen that play a good bit. They're going back to the well. As you mentioned, got to watch out for hitch and go. Certainly right there with Kibble. Kibble's had a nice game, but he hasn't had that explosive, big-time play other than the long V route that we saw early.
6 catches for over 100 yards for Kibble. Now it's Hart's turn. He's going to get sliced down as he'll cross the 30 to the 31. Daniel Sirk was out there, Biagirelli, and also Jack and Sarah.
Doug, I do believe that the ankle injury has really affected this Savion Hart, the outstanding running back. You can see he just cannot stick his toe in the ground and get vertical quite as quickly as you saw early in the game.
So 3rd and 4 now for the Hoyas, 4 out of 13, and they will just let this clock go to the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes remaining, 3rd and 4, and we will take our final break. Hang on, folks. We're in for a doozy here in Lewisburg. You're watching Patriot League football on ESPN. Third and 4. Before last year, the last 2 games between the Hoyas and Bison went to overtime. Bucknell won 24-21 a couple of years ago against Georgetown in D.C. Last time here at Christie, it was the Hoyas. Here's a pass, and it's going to be a first down catch by Kibble. He was open at the 40, and he grabbed it. Boy, that's one guy you think that you would have double teamed there, and I think Bucknell actually did have a double on it.
Yeah, they tried to get a guy up underneath that route, but it's just too easy with Kibble. He was lined up short side with free access coverage, and he took advantage of it.
1st and 10. Now the clock moves. Thomas has been picked 5 times this year. He throws it downfield. Man is wide open. Touchdown for the Hoyas. Penalty flag will go against Bucknell as Kibble gave Bucknell a little bit too much time unless they call an offensive pass interference.
Yeah, let's see what this is, because I think this is going to come back, Doug. They're walking back here.
Wow.
I think you're going to see Kibble get a little handsy here at the end. Let's see.
Eric Lewis is our official. That would be huge.
This is a big call right here in this football game. Yep.
And they do call it against Kibble. And he was defended by Cormier, who again has risen up big time as a cornerback.
You know, Doug, when you watch this play unfold, you don't see it there, but I'm sure he got handsy. But you could tell by Kibble's reaction there, it's like getting your hands in the cookie jar, right? You kind of know, but I hope you didn't see it right, but you did. And you could just tell by, he would be much more excited about that. He knew something was up. He saw that flag. So that's a huge call in this game, Doug.
Oh, it takes away a touchdown. That's the 8th penalty for almost 100 yards for Georgetown. Move the ball back to the 25. Here's Des Thomas to run. He's going to be stopped, and now Bucknell needs to burn a timeout with the Bison. Well, letting the clock down.
I think he's going to let this one run right here, Doug.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he'll let this one run.
On the play.
And then I think you'll see timeout here depending on what happens with the football.
This will be 3rd down and 25, nope, 2nd, because of that penalty, the offensive penalty. Down to 1:12 remaining, a 24-all game. 2nd, 25. Thomas goes with the handoff. Uribe, he's going to break it up to the 30 to the 32, and now Bucknell will take a timeout. So now it's going to be 3rd down, and basically the Hoyas at least have to get to Montgomery, maybe to Williamsport.
Yeah, they got to go a ways. Now, Doug, let's go back, because that timeout that they burned early in the second half would have come into play right there. Coach Dave Cicchini would have burned that after that first run. He couldn't do it because he just had 2 left. You want to keep one in your hip pocket. He's not going to be afforded not to burn this here unless it's an incomplete pass. He's going to have to use it, count on his offense, operating with the football with no timeout to set up a field goal to win the game.
Which, offensively, that's not a huge deal. You can get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Absolutely.
What could prove to be a problem is getting your field goal unit set up.
Yeah, I mean, you work on that. It's what we call white field goal, where you've got to run on and kick the football with no timeouts, clock running. Every team does that. It doesn't happen often right here. Critical stop right here. You'd like to see the incomplete pass if you're Bucknell, because now that stops the clock, preserves your timeout.
But if you're Georgetown, do you even pass the ball?
Well, if they do, I would just flip it out here and try to run and get as much as you can. That'd be me.
Thomas is going to pass on 3rd and 18. Oh, there could be a hold. No flag, and Thomas going to take off, break a tackle, and Goheen wisely just twist him down at the 40, and Bucknell will burn its final timeout with 50 ticks remaining, spot him at the 41. And again, Goheen back after about a 3-game absence because of injury. Hoying, Davis, they've all made big plays.
Yeah, it makes a difference when you got your starters back on the field, the guys that have won the job and the experienced players, and those guys have played well. It's really been a solid defensive effort for the most part by Bucknell. Started a little bit slow, missed some tackles early, but they've been much better here in the second half, Doug.
So Bucknell is averaging 26.63 points per game. The Hoyas 25.29. We're at tie 24-24. Yep. Can Bucknell get a little bit above its average of 26?
You know, all they need is a field goal, and right here, if you're Shearer, we know he's hit from 50 plus, and he can do that.
We've also seen that the punter for this Georgetown Hoyas team, Josh Leff, has done a great job. And remember, Cadden muffed a punt last time, a couple of times ago, I should say.
Yeah, I'm setting up to return this right here.
Oh, the ball is dropped by Leff, and he gets a horrible kick, and it takes a Bucknell bounce all the way at the 47-yard line. Leff had punted the ball so well, but he felt pressure, and he shanked it.
Yeah, he did. That one came off the side of his leg right there as a bad snap. So what you tell him there, Doug, catch and kick, right? Get it out. That's what he tried to do off the bad snap. And he just shanked it. He just pushed it off the side of his foot. That all starts with the operation, though, Doug. It was a poor snap, put him in a bad situation. Now, if you're Bucknell, you still have to stay aggressive because you need at least 1 first down, probably 2, to get Matt in a comfortable situation to hit the game winner.
Shearer connected on a 50-yarder in the first half 2 games ago against Lafayette. Bucknell on a 2-game losing streak. The Hoyas on a 2-game winning streak. At the 47 of Georgetown, 50 ticks remaining. Here comes a blitz by the Hoyas. Here they come, and a quick pass going to be caught and immediately stopped in the field of play.
Got to get out of bounds right there. Didn't do it.
Now we'll keep the clock moving.
Got to go out of bounds right there.
Clock moves to 29 ticks left. 2nd and 6. Here's another blitz. It's picked up, though. Dietrich fires. It's going to be intercepted. Here come the Hoyas down the far sideline. Here comes Dietrich to try and stop him, and they are going to do it. And the Hoyas are going to win this game on a pick 6. Unbelievable that time, as getting the interception is Mose, the senior, and the Hoyas are going to win this with 12 seconds left unless Bucknell has a miraculous play to tie.
Well, Mose has been so big for them. He's got 2 fumble recoveries for 95 yards and a touchdown. And let's take a look on the replay here. Dietrich with a play fake. Not sure why he did that. No need for that. He's late on the throw to the outside, and that is double trouble right there. And then Dietrich's got to get the ball on the ground, Doug. He's got to make that tackle. He didn't do it. So the young quarterback really with a critical mistake.
The Hoyas will have to burn a timeout here, but they have 3. And now, are they reviewing the play? Did they say he stepped out of bounds?
Right, that's what they're looking for. They're going to see if he stepped out of bounds. Now, that all comes down to the camera angle, in my opinion. It's not like the NFL where you've got multiple camera angles. Let's see if we can see if he stepped out. This
Our
would be
monitor
huge.
keeps going out, so we can't see anything up
Right.
here. But you're watching it at home. Hopefully you can tell. I mean,
you'd have to figure it's when Dietrich hit him right here where he would have stepped out.
you do see some, our monitor went out again, but you do see some rubber pellets go up. Now, did he step out right there?
Wait, that's where he would have had to have stepped out right there when Dietrich hit him.
And it's another one of those Polynesian players that Coach Scarlotta gets at
has
Georgetown.
been so good for them. But boy, if you're Chris Dietrich, you can't compound one mistake with another. You've got to get that ball on the ground. You got to do in that situation whatever it takes to get the ball on the ground and make the tackle.
And our monitor keeps going out, but you're watching it.
What do you got?
Well, we can't watch it, but Terry Burke is telling us in cue that was he out there? So the officials are looking it over. They did not say he was out of bounds, so this would have to be an overturn of this call.
Yep.
Officials are going to look it over. So if he was out of bounds and the officials say he isn't, they missed two. Touchdown by Milligan in the end zone, and now this one, if he was out of bounds. Now, we can't tell that, but they call it a touchdown. So now the Hoyas with 12 ticks left are up 31-24, unless Anderson, who has missed 3 extra points this year, misses this one. And boy, Bucknell just can't buy a break right now.
Just too many mistakes in this game that I don't want to say Bucknell handed this game over to Georgetown, because Georgetown certainly did some good things, but you certainly cannot make that critical error there at the end of the game.
And Anderson will easily tack on the point after. So now, Coach Cicchini worked all week on 2-minute drills because he figured this game was going to come down to a 2-minute drill. Well, now you have 12 seconds. Obviously, Anderson's going to squib this. So Bucknell doesn't have a timeout, but you don't need a timeout. You just get the ball and fall, the clock stops, and it gives you an opportunity.
Yeah, the problem, Doug, is you really are going to have just 12 seconds to move. It's not a field goal that they need, but even in 12 seconds would be difficult. So now you're going to need some razzle-dazzle tricks for 6 to try to get this, because trick or treat, as we might say at this time of year. But this is a tough scenario here for Bucknell. Just a young quarterback. If you don't have it there, you've got to throw the ball out of bounds. At the worst, you're going to OT to try to win this game. You know, I heard for Chris Dietrich, because that's a tough lesson learned for a quarterback in that scenario.
And it kind of was set up when Gary didn't get out of bounds before that.
Yeah, Josh should have wheeled the other way and got out of bounds right away. Now the clock's moving, and listen, it's not on Josh Gary. He didn't make the throw, and just as a game, as Coach Scarlotta says, they just got one of those 5 plays that changed the game, and that's exactly what happened at just such a tough, critical time for Bucknell. So this is probably going to go, again, Bucknell still has a chance. We can't see apologize because we just can't see the replay with our monitor being real finicky.
Well, we can see him score, but
right.
Again, it goes out again. So,
And it would have had to been clear and obvious for them to overturn that. They're not going to do that unless it was clear that he stepped out of bounds. And quite honestly, we don't know what kind of look they had on that far sideline. So that would have been a tough one to overturn.
I still say Milligan had a toe in
Very
that
close.
possession.
Yeah. Very close. Certainly could have went Bucknell's way. And you don't know. We're not in the replay booth, so we don't know what they're looking at and what they're saying. But generally, for them to overturn a call, it's going to have to be clear and obvious.
So the Hoyas wanted to see how Bucknell lined up and then took a timeout. So now the Hoyas will kick this. You can only take one timeout at a time. It'll be a sky kick, so Bucknell should call for a fair catch, but you got to get the ball. But Bucknell doesn't call for a fair catch. Instead, Cadden will run, and he will go out of bounds with 9 ticks left.
Yeah, you have no choice here but to throw the ball up for grabs. I mean, you got to go Hail Mary, try to give Georgetown a dose of what they gave Morgan State here at the end of the game.
And it looks like the Joe Ekabachi, number 35 player, got hurt there, and he's the heart and soul, obviously. That's Matthew Plunkett this year. Each year, a guy gets picked for that. He was a former Georgetown player who was one of the 1,000+ who died in that terrible terrorist attack in 2001 at the World Trade Centers. Of course, obviously at Bucknell, Georgetown, all the Patriot League schools, oftentimes you go into the financial sector after you graduate from those kind of elite universities.
Absolutely. So, and we didn't even get a chance to talk about Brock Biestack and his football royalty with Gino Capoletti and Tom Waddle, his grandfather and his uncle. I mean, we didn't get a chance to expand on that, Doug, but that is football royalty right there. Certainly Gino Capoletti. I had his football card when I was a kid.
So Bucknell out of timeouts, 9 ticks remaining. Now, Dietrich does have as strong arm as anybody you'll ever see. The receivers can get downfield. They will go short, though, and it will be Milligan catching his second, and he finally gets out of bounds after getting a first down. So this will probably be basically almost similar to what Georgetown had against Morgan State to try and win the game 2 games ago.
Yeah, and this is your game right here.
And now Bucknell will take a quick snap and spike the ball to stop the clock with 1 second going off. So 1 tick left. Unless there is a foul on Georgetown, this will be a 2nd and 10 with 1 tick left. And Bucknell a little confused as to what the play call is. Now, if you're Georgetown, you just want to bat this ball down.
Yep. And the only way this... Okay, they said the game's over, Doug. And I'm not sure Milligan must have not got out of bounds there because that would have stopped the clock immediately.
I don't know, but these officials have not really been very good here today, I'm afraid to say. And Coach
I'm not sure what happened there, because if you're Sam Milligan, he's enough veteran player. The first down means nothing right there. It's a stoppage of clock. But obviously, I was not confused, but when Chris Dietrich got up to spike the football, that's telling you he didn't get out of bounds. So, you know, because the clock would have stopped had he stepped out of bounds.
Well, we invite you to stay tuned. If you want to go to WKOK, we're going to talk with Coach Cicchini after this and get his insights about some of these interesting situations here. But we can say Georgetown has won its 3rd game in a row, winning an unbelievable game, winning over Morgan State on a Hail Mary. Had a bye week. Coach Scarlatta said it was so important because his team wouldn't have been ready to play the next week because all the hullabaloo around that, Jimmy Kimmel going on the Jimmy Kimmel show and all that other stuff. So they had a bye week to kind of decompress, came back, played a great game against Colgate. First time they had knocked off the Raiders since 2011. Then came and played Bucknell without Ralph Rucker IV. Came up with a pick 6 against his backup late in the game with 12 seconds left. Bucknell now, in the worst scenario, gets a bye week when you don't really want one after losing this game the way the Bison did, and will finish with a few games on the road at Fordham and Colgate, and sandwiched between a home game against a Holy Cross team that's playing great football right now. And boy, Bucknell, it's tough for the Bison. Bucknell was picked 4th in the preseason Patriot League poll, but injuries have just derailed what had looked to be probably a very promising year for this Bison team.
Yeah, this is a gut punch of a loss now if you're Dave Cicchini. Not just him, but this whole staff and this football team. It's a gut punch because you're thinking at the worst you're going OT, and you throw a pick 6 at the end of the game and your whole mindset changes and that locker room is going to be hurting. Let's give Georgetown credit, Doug, because they mirror their head football coach. I mean, he's an emotional guy, and they play that way, and they play pretty rambunctious. Give them credit. Both teams fought to the end. As we said, one of those big plays was going to decide this game, and Georgetown made it right there at the end.
The Hoyas had never beaten Bucknell 2 years in a row since joining the Patriot League. Now the Hoyas have won 3 games in a row against this Bucknell team to pull within 21-16-1. And these are 2 teams, Charlie, that were 2 of the very early entrants into the Orange Bowl. Bucknell played the very first Orange Bowl in 1935. Georgetown followed a few years later. You know, of course, that time it was a bowl game for Miami, the Miami Hurricanes, and then they would play another team somewhere that would give them a good journey down to Miami. And boy, Georgetown and Bucknell, a lot of history. And man, we have been treated to some incredible games between these 2 teams.
So Doug, one thing that's got to happen in that locker room to a man, you've got to make sure that you rally behind this young quarterback, because that mistake, you don't need that to linger. I mean, this is going to be a test of his emotional fortitude to keep moving forward. So between Dave Cicchini, Drew Fulmer, that staff, and these players and these seniors, guys like Johnny O, the guys that have been around, they need to rally behind this young quarterback to help him through this bump in the road, because he's got a lot of skill, and he does a lot of good things. He made a mistake here. He threw late to the outside, pick six, didn't get it on the ground. But there's still football to play after this bye week. Listen, you can't count on Ralph Rucker being back. He might be, but chances are he won't be, and that's how you have to look at it. So he's their quarterback, Chris Dietrich. He's a good player. He's young. He's developing. You got to rally behind him, help him over this bump in the road, and you got to find a way now to go on the road to Fordham and win a football game.
After a week off for the Bison, next up for Georgetown, a huge encounter at Lehigh. As the Mountain Hawks were leading 10-0 last we looked, and that'll be a big one for both Lehigh and Georgetown. Georgetown has one loss in the Patriot League, but now 5-3, 2-1 in Patriot League. Bucknell falls to 1-3, 4-5 overall. Charlie, we will see you in 2 weeks here. On the road at Fordham.
Yeah, always an honor to be your wingman, Doug. Job well done. Again, congrats to Georgetown, Bucknell. All right, they'll get back on their feet, and we'll head to Fordham and see what they can do in New York City.
And see what the Hoyas do next week at Lehigh. Before we head on out, big thank you to Emily Sweeney, the Bucknell football contact, and Georgetown football contact, Eliza Kravitz, for all of their assistance for today's game. Also want to thank our director, Terry Burke, graphics and replay coordinator, Nick Fudale, and also the camera operators today, Travis Fatchline, Dave Bodmer, and Will Burke. So speaking for my analyst, Charlie Fisher, this is Doug Birdsong saying so long from Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, where the final score is the Georgetown Hoyas 31 and the Bucknell Bison 24. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good afternoon, everybody.